our conditioning, our consciousness, what we are.
Hey Freedomizers, Nickie Nix here with you on this beautiful Friday afternoon, and I've got Wil Spencer with me. I mean, I could go into so many things you do, and it's so amazing, so I really don't know where to start, but a great friend of mine too. I have much respect for Wil coming today. This is going to be a fun show in my opinion. So, hi Wil, so glad you're here.
Hi. I'm glad to be here too.
You do so much, anything that has to do with people and life and Earth and us moving forward, you're definitely there, so I'm impressed.
Well, if I don't do what's in my heart, then I hurt, so that's what I'm doing. I'm helping myself, helping those around me.
Oh, you've beyond be like the VMSP, see if I say it this time right, naturopath? Did I say it right?
Naturopath, yeah.
Oh,
vibrational medical science practitioner, if you will.
Yeah. VMSP I can remember. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, we're here, like, more than anything, I know those in the chat room, I'll go ahead and put in, have you seen the new website that they have up and running on the republicoftheunitedstates.org yet?
No, I haven't. I know they did some changes. I have been a little preoccupied with some other matters in that regard. So,
well, for those in the chat room, I put that in.
That's the direction we're going to focus on right away. Then is the what we're doing with the Republic and the Free States.
I think so, because this all leads into everything. I mean, I'm sure if we start, no matter where we start, it's all tied in. So.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, when I get started, let's talk about what the Republic is as opposed to what we currently have.
Oh, well, we currently have a corporate government run by and for the corporations, business, money, greed. We've strayed over the last 300 years from what we have originally, what the four founding fathers originally set up as a republic, where it was for the people, by the people. So we have gone in the opposite direction, or we've ended up today in the opposite direction, where we have government that is by the corporations, for the corporations, and to hell with the people. The people are just collateral, or
labor?
I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, industrial fodder, labor, fodder, to feed the machine, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to the Matrix. What pill would you like today?
But something that once you recognize, we actually do have the power to make changes. We've just allowed and given up our control to this federal oligarchy, and we've left it there. And it's kind of sad. I was even watching a video. I didn't have time to bring in the soundbite, but I'll have it for us later, that talks about, seriously, the corporations and news media outlets used to basically control the population's opinion, especially of the government. And anything that was anti what the banks wanted definitely was never printed, and those that had those stories were either fired or disappeared.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and you put in the search bar Republic of Missouri, the change your founders believed in, there's going to be a 44-minute video there.
I'll find it, because I actually favorited it as well on my YouTube.
You find that there's a link there. You can put it in the chat room. I think Delanne will be on the chat room in a little while. We're still doing our Friday business today, but she can put that link in there. But he has a 44-minute explanation of what's going on, and he does a really
very, very good job. I was so impressed with that video. I really was.
That he has laid it out very simply for those that don't get this. I was introduced to this back in the early 80s. I was told by some, they were considered crazy people, conspiracy theorists and fearmongers back then, which all the things they had told me when I was younger are all coming to pass today, and we're living it. So who was right, who was wrong? But you know, they were harassed their whole lives. Most of the people that I knew back then, they're dead now, and they were harassed their whole entire life. And now we have what coming about. So I've pretty much known this for, you know, most of my life. And to wake other people up with this information is a challenge, because they're waking up and they have no clue. Like in the Matrix, they're waking up and they're going, holy shit.
Yeah, people see this and they think that's not possible, you know, it's really not possible, and you keep looking and it's scarily true.
Unfortunately, it is true. There's not very many vehicles left. We have, basically, I've looked since back then, since the early 80s, and this Republic thing that we got going on is really the only viable tool or vehicle to get back to what the Founding Fathers originally wanted. I haven't found anything better yet. And believe me, I've looked. I've literally put, you know, I don't know, 30,000 miles on my camper driving around the country in the last 8-9 years. And to look, there's nothing.
That and the simple fact we keep trying to persuade the rest of the world that they need democracy and not something that we were originally founded to be. We keep spreading this idea. Yeah, okay, well, true.
I don't.
There you go. I guess that's something that I need to correct in myself, is that it's not the people that are doing this. We need to be more, I guess, conscious of things we say, because words have been used to confuse us in so many ways. Look at our Democrats and Republicans, right? We have democracy in the Republic, and we've been confused with these words to make us think that it's something different than what we would ever stand up for, you know? Because we've been taught that instead they're the opposite. Well, you know, just two same heads of a bad snake.
Right. Well, they all work for the same people, and I'm even thinking Ron Paul is in there. You know, you don't get that high in that corporate government with an honest heart. You just don't. And I'm thinking even Ron Paul is a pawn in the game, just to cause dissension and separation. And
well, kind of like what Obama has been able to accomplish. Everybody had all this hope, right? Literally hope. And he did the exact same thing that had already been done, and maybe that's what it could be, just to build up for a serious, like, same thing.
But he doesn't have a choice. He is not in control. He is told what to do. He is an employee of the corporation. Period.
Back to money. I
lump it all together. I lump it all together. If you're in that government, you are workers. It's the one corporation that owns the whole lock, stock, and barrel and runs, you know, what do we call it? The industrial, military, medical complex. It's all one.
Yeah, down to the doctors making you take all these drugs just to keep you coming back or keep your immune system in a bad check. You go into, like, the whole idea of antibiotics. It's like anti-life, you know, when you look at what the word actually means. It's antibiotics, meaning life, and then anti, you've literally got anti-life. And then you get into, like, probiotics. There's, like, words, again, we are so confused, and it's definitely used against us.
Yeah, absolutely is. And it's set up that way. It was engineered that way. I mean, the people, let's see, they were brought in back after they went from Hitler. They basically brought all that thinking into this country now, and now what we have, you know, Hitler on steroids, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, what I'm going to do is play a quick song, and I'm going to upload this audio file. You probably brought it just for you. But let me play this quick song, and we'll be back. And guys, we're with Wil Spencer. The links are in the chat room, and as they go by, I'm sure I'll be putting them in again. And if anybody wants to call in and join in the conversation, you can always call 347-324-3704. And let's see, if you want to check out all the other hosts at Freedomizer Radio, you can always go to www.freedomizerradio.com. And let me find my music real quick. I always have a problem here. There it is. Okay, we'll be right back. Hang in there.
Federal Reserve, you've been living hell to me. You've been robbing me since 1913. You'll run the presses till the ink is dry. Long ago, I stopped asking why. Federal Reserve, I hate every inch of you. You robbed me and you cheated me through and through. Now I'm a poorer and more destitute man. Mr. Congressman, why can't you understand? Federal Reserve, what good do you think you do? Do you think we'll all be richer when you're through? Your dollars are no longer backed by gold, and your stone walls turn my blood a little cold. Federal Reserve, may you rot and burn in hell. May your walls fall and may I live to tell. May all the world reject your fake cash. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back. You stole our wealth, but we can take it back.
Alright, stole our world, but we do have the power to take it back, don't we, Will? If we exercise it?
Yeah, if you do. Yep.
So how would you suggest people actually realize that we have the ability to take this back? Because it was written for us, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was written by the people for the people originally. You just have to apply it. And here's the thing is, well, what does sovereign mean? The people nowadays don't know how to be sovereign. Sovereign requires responsibility for yourself. You can't rely on the system. You are the system. And that's a misconception today is, well, I'm just going to join the Republic and they'll take care of me. You know, well, that's, I'm sorry, but that's welfare mentality, and that's what the current system has bred everybody to be.
Yeah,
you know,
the nanny
recipients
state.
of the system.
Yeah, the great nanny state, the great mom and dad. We always need someone holding our hands because, see, we don't have the intelligence nor the know-how, the resources, or the community to be able to take care of ourselves. Wow, that's what we're always told, right?
Well, right, but that was strategically done to this country, and now this is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a welfare state. Unfortunately, we have to get back to the way it used to be.
And realize maybe that the federal government doesn't have the power that they do now, and and the only reason why we've allowed that is because they keep instituting these events that make us think safety is more important. And how many times have past patriots actually stood up and says, watch out when someone ever tells you that? I mean, we've been told this many, many times, hence why we're so confused about our past. They don't want you to know the true past. If you know the true past, then, hey, you're actually a threat.
Yeah, well, we do have remedy now. There's a gentleman in our state, in Pennsylvania here, traveling the country teaching you how to have remedy in the current court system. There is remedy here. You just have to seek it out, and really, we're in order to take advantage of this remedy, you need to be part of the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So I would consider getting a hold of your ambassadors in your state, and there's ambassadors in every state. I work with a lot of them, and on several different levels. And if you want to check out how to do that, you go to the website that Nickie put up, republicoftheunitedstates.org.
Yeah. And it's
Go to the
actually got a DEV at the beginning now. It's very nice too. People really should check out this site. They did a really good job on it.
You check that out. You get a hold of your state. There should be contact information for all the states. And say, hey, what can I do? I want what, you know, what is going on? Attend a meeting. They're free usually. And because it's only going to happen with real blood people. One of the main things that I like to stress is if you really realize, you know that we have dual citizenship right now. You have a corporate aspect of you, and then you have a sovereign aspect or a real blood person aspect of you. You don't know that. Most people don't anyhow. Well, maybe most people listening to you know, but in the general public, most people don't know that. And
yeah,
it's
the corporate
assumed.
entity and then your individual actual person.
Yeah.
What a name. It really sucks, the fact that, seriously, apparently with the United States was only technically sovereign for like 7 years before they used actually the Constitution as collateral to get money from the king after our Great Revolution.
Yeah.
Wow, we were free for a whole 7 years, and nobody knows this. We actually, the way we got loans and were able to keep moving forward was they used the American citizen guaranteed in the Constitution as leverage.
Yep. So you are leverage for the corporate chess game. Anyhow, it's just assumed and implied that when you get a ticket or when you get pulled over by one of the little fellas in their pretty uniforms for speeding, you are just assumed that they assume you are representing your corporate entity unless you tell them differently. Or you go into a courtroom. It's just assumed and implied that you are representing your corporate entity in court. So the key is you have to declare your non-corporate status. And that's where the remedy lies. As soon as you draw the line in the sand and say, no, I am not that corporate person. I do not represent him in this case. I am a real human being. And there's a process to that. There's a bit of an education that has to go along with it. We have a break. Nickie.
Okay, perfect. Hey, let me see if that clip loaded. Did it? Yay! Hey, that clip loaded. It's really quick.
Oh, it's the music.
I know, right? This has to do with, there was music?
Yeah, there was music playing in my ear. I don't know. How about you guys? I can't see the computer right now, but I heard a bunch of music. That's why I quit talking.
That was odd. Okay, well, hey, that's odd. It must be my Skype, actually, because I was having to, it must be because I had to answer another call that was trying to come in on BTR, and it didn't work. So she actually tried to call me on Skype, so I answered real fast. I didn't know it had hold music. I'll have to look into that. Interesting. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm still learning.
Right.
I apologize, Will.
We'll slap you later, okay?
Oh, man. Well, hey, I got a quick clip about the CFR and news media and also going back to all that, although it looks like Hello? Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, you're here, too.
That was loud.
Yeah, it was. Is that Pinky?
Is that me? I don't know. I can't hear myself.
Well, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's odd.
It's Freaky Friday today on the Nickie Show.
Yeah, right?
Yes, well, then it's appropriate that I called in.
Ah, there you go. So you have a comment about the Republic?
Yeah, when you guys were talking about, things that they don't want you to know and whatnot, recently in Rooftop Info Warriors, I posted a video that was an interview with Prince on a PBS show, and he was talking about Dick George and his speech, not really a speech, but his spiel that he did at the State of the Black Union thing, and talking about chemtrails and stuff that they don't want you to know, and how Prince himself is just pissed off because he's been lied to, and how
why isn't everybody else pissed off?
I hear you. But he was talking specifically about being lied to about the fact that George Washington wasn't the first president. He was the first president under the new founding of the country, but he was not the first president of this union that we have. You know, there were 15 other people in charge of this land before him.
Nice. I actually didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah, 7 of them apparently were, I can't remember what the title was. I can go see if I can find the link again. 7 of them were something or another, President of Congress or something was the title, and then they switched the title and, you know, what it meant. And then there were 8 of those people, and then George Washington.
Wow. Did you know that, Will?
I've heard that before.
Huh.
Yep, I don't remember the whole spiel, but that sounds fairly accurate to me.
Well, Dick George's thing that he did for the State of the Black Union was just funny. I highly recommend everybody going and finding the video for it because he's a riot.
Well, hey, we made it to the half hour, so we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back with that CFR clip, which could surprise people about how much control this has been instituted from the beginning, literally by, you know, the powers that be or whatever. We really didn't come here and, you know, accomplish what our forefathers had envisioned. At least it fell apart pretty quickly. But like I said, it's still technically the law of the land. Our Constitution is still, you know, the last stop for our rights, for our inalienable rights, what we were born with, that what rights
I want
to
correct you on that. I want to correct you on that after the break.
Okay, well, that's cool if you want to wait. That should be interesting. So, hey, everybody, we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Hang in there, everybody.
Hi, folks, CT here. I want to talk to you about a great preparedness resource, tomorrowsharvest.com. Whether it's an economic collapse or nature's fury, there's no feeling more secure than knowing that your loved ones will be well fed. If it's time to bug out or just camping with the family, Tomorrow's Harvest offers high-quality, cost-effective, and long-term smart food storage. Get your free sample. The choices are great. From blueberry pancakes to the cowboy chili, no one else has the meal variety of Tomorrow's Harvest. They also provide other survival necessities. Check out the various packages and customize your meal supply. Remember, there's no reason for fear today when you're prepared with Tomorrow's Harvest. Go to www.tomorrowsharvest.com and tell them you're a Freedomizer.
Freedomizer Radio, waking people up. They have their little puppets and underlings and cliques, and pretty much every government on this planet will do their bidding as they push us into this one-world system. That's how it works. Somebody needs to carve that thing up, and I think I might just be the man for the job. Be the man for the job. Waking people up. Just your tinfoil. Waking people up. I got to break down the information. Waking people up. Every time I get to have this conversation, it sends them a little deeper down the rabbit hole. Look a little deeper. Freedomizer Radio, Freedomizer Radio, waking people up.
Are you one of the tens of people who are tired of seeing chemtrails? Fed up with the government geoengineering you every other day? Take a dose of La Mecha Wong Chemtrail Remover Daily, and you'll never worry about weather modification again. With great ingredients and quality vitamins from Mexico and China, like fluoride, barium, high fructose corn syrup, and colloidal mercury. Your brain will be a virtual Etch-a-Sketch lickety-split. La Mecha Wong Chemtrail Remover. Wow, I don't even remember the tagline for this, so it must be great.
And we're going to have to come to the grips with the fact that they told us exactly what they were going to do. They wrote a document called the Project for a New American Century.
Don't ever say I didn't warn you. That's about all one can do. Anything these creatures take, the opposite is probably true. Every day, their grip is getting stronger. We must not prune the tree of evil any longer. Every day, the tyrant's getting closer. Will you sit back and watch, or do what you're supposed to?
What can I get with 2.3 trillion? When does a citizen become a civilian? When did the heroes morph into the villains? How can 2 planes powderize 3 buildings? These are questions that could get you murked, politically, socially, physically put into the dirt. Many swear that there's some kind of conflict of interest within. The conflict depends upon what you're interested in. You can chant 9/11 was an inside job all day until you say the Mossad and pay closer attention to Flight 175 and the odd cylindrical pod beneath the fuselage. Then it's 2 + 2 level addition after you factor in the flight termination systems. Then flash back to the cash the good rabbi stole, September 10th style, right down the rabbit hole. What can I get with 2.3? You can get unlimited corporate news. What can I get with 2.3? You can have any mercenary you choose. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can steal a couple million souls. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can get everything under control. The missile they hit the Pentagon with was not an act of randomness. It murdered accountants, bookkeepers, and budget analysts. That side of the building was retrofitted prior to this to withstand bomb blast, the nickname the catcher's mitt. If that don't give you some kind of clue why they glued them on, maybe you should take some medication for your new disorder. If buildings are burning, don't ever trust a news reporter with 267 stories of gruesome slaughter. Don't ever mention Dov Zakim and trillions stolen, much less missile-equipped Boeings even remote controlling. With System Planning Corporation International, the folks that see if you got some buildings you like to crash into. But that's impossible without the proper capital. That's why I'm asking you what you would do with unimaginable wealth. So much money you can't delve in it. Enough to buy 10 presidents and 12 senates. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can get unlimited corporate news. That's right. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can have any mercenary you choose. All night. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can steal a couple million souls. Indeed. What can I get with 2.3 trillion? You can get everything under control. Now that's greed. What can I get? What can I get? With 2.3 trillion. What can I get? What can I get with 2.3 trillion? What can I get with 2.3 trillion? What can I get?
You know, it took me about a year to start hating the 9/11 victims' families. It took me about a year. And I had such compassion for them, and I really, I wanted to help them.
That's about a millionth of what you can get with 2.3 trillion. Some clown named Glenn Beck, fucking with a Pentagon talking point of how he hates the 9/11 victims' families. But that didn't roll over too well, did it, Glenn? They're well aware they can no longer create a consensus as effectively as they used to. So they parade some other clown on the other side of the spectrum named Geraldo to tacitly give 9/11 truth a 6-minute segment semblance of credence, as if we didn't have that 9 years ago, dummy. The system is designed to make you think anything is funny. Pretty soon you won't be able to buy anything but your monopoly money. Dummy.
What can I get with 2.3 trillion? 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 2.3 trillion.
Freedomizers, we're back here. I'm gonna grab in Will, and I guess I'll let you correct me before I bring in DJ Zazwa. So go ahead.
You gotta tell me what I'm gonna correct again. I kind of forgot. I'm sorry.
Oh, perfect. Let me bring in the DJ. Hey, Zazwa.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Had to Skype in, so I'm still getting the feel for all that.
So how was your show?
Fantastical.
Fantastical. That's a nice word. I think that's a lot of what we refer to as the democracy we currently live in. Fantastical. Kind of like mythical and, kind of fanciful. Yeah.
Something like that. I wouldn't call it a democracy. Well, I mean, I guess, sort of, a tainted one.
Well, hey, I got that clip then, so I'm going to play this clip, and it's about the CFR, basically IMF, and our media, and how everything, like everything else, everything's tied together. It's amazing, isn't it? So, that's the thing. I mean, we're seriously kept not only in the dark about information and technology, but we're kept sick, we're kept uneducated, we're kept in a non-spiritual, enlightened state as well, just so that we are more easily pushed down. And we do have another caller I'll bring in just a second. Let me play this quick clip, and then we'll be right back.
The year is 1917, and Representative Oscar Callaway enters a disturbing statement into the U.S. Congressional Record. The statement reveals why J.P. Morgan interests hired 12 high-ranking news managers. The 12 were asked to determine the most influential newspapers in America. They were to figure out how many news organizations it would take to control generally the policy of the daily press of the United States. The 12 found it was only necessary to purchase the control of 25 of the greatest papers. An agreement was reached. The policy of the papers was bought, and an editor was placed at each paper to ensure that all published information was in keeping with the new policy. Soon, that policy would be defined by a front group formed by J.P. Morgan and his colleagues. In fact, Morgan's personal attorney was founding president of the organization, the Council on Foreign Relations. Today, the CFR maintains that its goal is to increase America's understanding of the world. However, the actual objective of this highly exclusive club is revealed by the rare admissions of the insiders themselves. In the early 60s, a Georgetown University professor collects information for a book favorable to the network of powerful men who founded the CFR. For 2 years, Professor Carol Quigley is allowed to examine the confidential papers and secret records of this network. Quigley reveals that these men aim to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. In short, they seek total and quiet control of the entire world. And the CFR is their most visible conduit for carrying out that agenda. CFR members include America's wealthiest tycoons, as well as the highly placed elite in government, academic institutions, tax-exempt foundations, and the establishment media. Ruling Class Journalists, written by Richard Harwood, describes the CFR membership as the ruling establishment in the United States. The Washington Post article boasted that news reporters who are CFR members do not merely analyze and interpret foreign policy for the United States, they help make it. Who are these policymakers? Many of their faces are familiar. NBC's Tom Brokaw, CBS's Dan Rather, ABC's Barbara Walters, Jim Lehrer of PBS, William F. Buckley of National Review, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, owner of the giant multifaceted News Corporation. These media heavyweights, and many others like them, are members of the CFR. Powerful corporations are also invited to become members. At the close of the 20th century, CFR influence presided over far-reaching consolidations of media control. In 1995, CFR members Michael Eisner of Disney and ABC's Thomas Murphy merged their media empires. Soon after the merger, the Disney-ABC empire becomes a CFR corporate member. In the year 2000, the world's largest internet service provider, America Online, joins forces with Time Warner, one of the world's largest news organizations. The CEOs favoring the move are CNN's Thomas Johnson and Time Warner's Gerald Levin, both CFR members. Once again, another media giant is created under the shadow of CFR influence. Today, an elite handful of individuals define the agendas that are supported by the empire of establishment news.
All right, we're back, and let me bring in, Will, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, awesome. I'm also gonna, did you like that clip?
Yeah, that was, they've pretty much done that, haven't they? Controlling the media now, all of it. Even the internet to some extent.
And that controls the populace or the, the people's opinion, and also what information you get to process. I'm going to bring in here Bruce Kettler from World Peace Alliance. Hey, Bruce.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? This is Wil Spencer with us, and I'm going to bring in DJ Zazwa in a minute. But
yeah,
how are you today? It's been a while since I got to talk to you.
Fine. I'm feeling good. Hey, I got something new on the website, World Peace Alliance, on the bottom of the page. It's a new banner, and if you checked your email recently, you got information about it from me a couple of days ago.
You want to tell everybody what it's about?
Well, certainly. It's what it's about is mind movies. Now, actually more than one, but principally a man by the name of Bob Proctor, who was in The Secret. He's a doctor. He looks like he's about 60, 70 years old. He talks about mind movies. This is a program. It's a computer program that you put on your computer. And instead of watching somebody else's mind movie, and by the way, you can get on YouTube, you can get all the free mind movies you want and download them. I freaked out when I saw Bill Gates in one of the mind movies. I said, what? Do I want to be like him? No way. Bill Gates is a globalist, Anyway, so you make your own mind movie. And what it is, a movie that you watch repeatedly. And it's the movie of what you want your life to be like. And I feel like we ought to make mind movies for the world. We ought to make skies without chemtrails. We ought to make the ground with green grass growing. We ought to make it where everybody is sane instead of insane. You know, as they drive them nuts in the schools and through the media, and you know they're in a trance. Everybody's sane. And by the way, I'm 70 years old, so I can remember when there was some sanity in this world. You know, I can remember the 40s and the 50s, well, mainly the 50s. And I want to do a mind movie like that and see, instead of going on like some talk show hosts do, look at what they're doing to us, look at how bad everything is. The guy would say, I want to go into a meditation now where you imagine a world that's beautiful and there's no radiation in the air. You know, and the globalists are all in prison. You know, something like that. Anyway, mind movies. Click at the banner at the bottom of the page. The website is worldpeacealliance.com. world-peace-alliance.com, and find out about mind movies. You can make your own movie, and believe me, that movie will help you to change not only the reality of the world, but the reality of your individual life.
Cool. I put the clip in the chat room as well, and then I also followed it by the clip to the Republic of the United States as well. Which is interesting, because seriously, I mean, well, and Bruce, what's nice is Will here, he's actually, okay, tell me what all the word is. Vibrational, what's the M? That's the one I can never remember.
Vibrational medical science practitioner. A fancy word for energy worker, or light worker, really. And I get what you're talking about. What's that?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. A light worker. And, yeah, and, by the way, I'm familiar with
natural healing, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this movement that you're talking about. I've watched the YouTubes from Missouri, the guy in Missouri was talking.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I looked at the website, Missouri Republic, I think that's MissouriRepublic.org. And so I've gotten very familiar with it. I think it's fantastic. You guys got 42 states, is that right?
I think there's more than that, but they're coming on board all the time. So it's growing because it's real.
Well, 42 is almost all of them, so we're doing good. Unless you ask Obama what he said, 56.
Hey, Obama, what do you think? You're not the president of the United States anymore. Obama,
he's the president of a corporation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a corporation. Whatever he calls the United States that everybody thinks is the United States. You're right. It's a corporation. Yeah, but by the way, Obama is now, there's impeachment articles going in to the Congress now. So I'm not saying it's going to be successful, but what I am saying is if that can get out into the media, it helps us. You see, just the fact that somebody is making a move towards impeachment, if we can get that out, if we can give out flyers saying they're in the process of attempting to impeach him, that's going to put doubt in people's mind. I'm not saying that's our solution. I'm just saying that that's a good message to get out.
Cool. And hey, just I had a chance, so you can keep going, Will. I'm just letting Joshua know. I opened up his mic as well,
okay.
So we got a bunch of people here with you today.
If people would really just only realize that the corporate system that is presently in the power or in the force of this country is corrupt, is broken, and they wouldn't even really, if you just understand how easy it would be to begin the regime change in this country, is if people would quit with the alliance to the corporation and switch their allegiance to the let's just say the republic form of government that originally our founding fathers put together. It's the people. If you take the people and just shift them from one allegiance to another, then the corporations don't have the strength that they have now, because it's really just an illusion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think Joshua wanted in. Go ahead, Joshua.
I just have a question, because this is something that's been plaguing me for some time, and you seem well, well informed on this subject. So, how exactly did, or what would you say, in your opinion, is the moment that we shifted from being a republic into this false democracy?
During Abe Lincoln's presidency, when he created the actual corporation to keep from defaulting on the loan to the Crown.
Right.
It's explained in that video link. Hopefully, Nickie will put up about from Missouri.
No problem.
Well, that was the beginning, but it has been gradually worse and worse. It's just gotten gradually worse. There was a time when you wouldn't hardly notice it. Now it's right in your face with troops on the street and everything else.
And just so you know, Pinky, yours is open now. So.
We had some control over even the corporate government back 60 years ago. We had some control. Now we have none. Now it's to the point now where it's turned into a cancer rather than a sore. I mean, we will say we had a tick, then a boil, and now we've got cancer.
Well, then everybody needs THC.
Now it's totally intolerable. Now it's like you could tolerate it 60 years ago. Well, you shouldn't have, but at least you could live through it,
I have a question, and I haven't been able to actually find the footage. Obama did a speech. I think it was one of the State of the Union. It was last year, I believe. And he made a comment that I just found very odd in the middle of the speech that was something to the effect of, for a little over 60 years, we have been working towards a goal that's now coming to fruition, or something like that. And it just was a very odd placement for that statement. It would have made sense had he had said, like from the beginning of the country or something, considering what he was saying. But that whole 60-year thing seemed very odd.
Did anybody notice that one? Because I must have missed that. I mean, my big thing about Obama was the fact that he was in charge of a foreign body and still the president, which is not, is forbidden to be done.
Well, I can answer the thing about that statement.
Go for it.
Goebbels said it's easier to. What is it? It's easier to believe a lie. No. The big lie is the lie that everybody believes. If you tell a little lie, it's just, people will wonder. But if you tell a really big lie, one that's so far-fetched, it's just totally unbelievable, people will believe that. That's what Goebbels said. He was the propaganda minister in Nazi Germany.
Right, which most people don't know that's where movies
Just make it outrageous, that's all. And the more outrageous it is, the better. Of course, now that they got everybody on drugs and fluoride and hypnotic television, it's even easier now to do it than they were in the time of Germany. So it applies more now than it ever did.
Dropped. Poor Pinky, her call just dropped.
He's going to be more absurd than he's ever been before, that's all.
What do you have to say, Will?
Well, I agree. I mean, we have a systemic problem today. And to be honest, I don't even listen to Obama or any of that. I don't watch television. I've freed myself from that insanity, and so I can't answer in regards to any of Obama's statements because it's all crap. That whole system, I pay no attention to it. So in that regards, but we have a systemic problem, and people think that they are living in going by the Constitution. They just have no clue that it's the corporate Constitution. It's really not the Constitution the way our founding fathers put it together.
Right. Well, the fact that this guy wasn't born in America, the fact that he's done so many outrageous things that are so contrary to the Constitution, I think these are important facts. And I think that even though Congress is really not going to do anything, they're going to go through the motions. I'm talking about the unofficial, the unreal Congress. The fact that they're addressing articles of impeachment to me, even though it doesn't accomplish an actual impeachment, or even if it did, it wouldn't help, because if he was impeached, what difference would it make? I mean, it'd just be another idiot up there, one of those teleprompter reading robots. But the thing is that the fact that he was wrong is good publicity for us. That's all. It helps us to some extent, not totally. It doesn't help if people start going, oh, that's our solution, let's support that. No, that doesn't help at all, because that gets people distracted. But it does help, or they go, oh, we need a Republican now. Yeah, right.
Yeah, or a Democrat, or an independent. Most people that run independent are actually part of the Independent Party, which in and of itself still defeats this whole purpose, because they're trying to be independent, but they're not. They still have to adhere to the Independent Party rules. I mean, there's this whole idea. Look at the past. Sorry. They're working on electricity in my house, and I just saw one of the nice little receptacles kind of spark completely up. So that was kind of nice right in front of me. Sorry. Kind of made me jump a little bit. I apologize, everyone. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. We're actually at the top of the hour anyway, so I'm going to take a quick break and make sure that didn't damage anything, and find out why they did it. All right, let me see. Hold on one second. Let me find a song, and I'll play this one, and we'll be right back. Hang in there. Nickie Nix back here with you. And, okay, I had to walk outside. They're having issues, of course. The electricity's completely messed up in our place. So I'm actually on my cell phone walking outside. I sent a message to Ninja. Hopefully he hears me and we'll open up the chat room again so we have somebody there. But Will and Bruce, both y'all's mics are open. I hope, as long as this is working. So can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. This is Will.
Oh, good. Hey, good. So this is working. All right, well, we're still on air, and we're live. I just don't have access to the chat room right now. So we get to keep going forward. That was not fun. When you see sparks and fire in your wall, it's not a nice thing.
I would say not.
Oh, looky there. Is that Jaguar? No? Okay, never mind. Oh, well, hey, Bruce, you still there?
Sure am.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. Okay, then we get to keep moving forward. So, I totally lost my train of thought. I do apologize, everybody. Fire, I guess, tends to do that. So, anybody want to jump in where we should start from here? How about, Will, do you want to go over more of, what exactly the Republic is? Because, this is something most people tend to confuse. And I know you were saying that most people adhere, to the corporate constitution as opposed to the one our forefathers originally had envisioned. Do you want to go from there?
Well, really, the Republic is the Republic on a national level has its place, and it's not to rule the states. And this is what we're doing here in Pennsylvania: is we're gathering our state, putting that republic form of government in place here. So it's it's run by we the people, for the people, and actually your county government is your highest form of government in the land. And the national republic part of the government really does not have a whole lot to say regarding governing the people. And that's why here in Pennsylvania, it's Pennsylvania Free State, and it's organized and part of the Republic or the Union, whatever you want to call it. I don't get too much into the technical aspect of that. I understand the concept, but at any rate,
the same idea about our corporate entity being created with our birth certificate and social security number, and basically there's supposedly a number on the back of your original social security card or birth certificate, I can't remember, that'll associate all the accounts that have been opened, basically to keep loans going and keep our infrastructure technically going. At least from their point of view, it was necessary. Which I still don't completely understand. But what makes someone sovereign as opposed to where we are now?
Well, we have a straw man, or our corporate entity, which has an account attached to it, which every time we sign our name, for instance, on a mortgage, money's created out of our straw man account. So on the corporate aspect of things, I don't get into it a whole lot. I don't really understand it really too technical, but I do know that there's, on the corporate side of things, that there is money created off of our name, and actually debt is, I shouldn't even say that right now, but I've got my head swimming in so many directions regarding this, but right now we're learning how to separate my sovereign or my real human being from that corporate entity, and take advantage of that. That's what where the direction I'm going now is, because I just received about 800 pages of information at a seminar we were at last weekend, and it's how to separate, how can we operate in this current corporate government as a sovereign. And you have to declare your non-corporate status. And declaring your non-corporate status, you then, every aspect of the corporation, then they can't touch you, or they may hassle you.
It's because that's what the court system is for in and of itself, is for the corporate entities. It was never initially meant for individuals. Individuals should work out their issues with themselves. The court system was for commerce. That is only for the corporations, correct?
Correct. As far as I know, you are correct. Our common law courts. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, common law courts, like those exist anymore. You walk in and you enter like a maritime law court, most places, unless you actually know what to do and make them adhere to the original. But that has to do with no one being over you either, including the judge or anything else. I mean, we have power over ourselves, and it takes a little bit to be able to get your own power of attorney, which most people wouldn't even consider an issue. But you have to actually claim your own power of attorney. I mean, things like that to actually get power over your corporate self. There's these little things that are literally written in. Once you understand that, I guess that there's literally, you are considered a representative of yourself, of your corporation. So therefore, anything against the corporation is not against you. And it's like the summons or something. You don't even have to necessarily accept those, because it still is a request for a representative. And it's kind of odd, and again, words are used to confuse. I don't know. Bruce, was this a lot different back then, or has this fight been going on way too long? Bruce, did you leave us?
No, I'm here. Is this a lot like it was back then? Is that what you said?
Yeah, is this? I mean, has this fight been going on way too long? Is it just been increasing? And I guess.
Well, no, it's that nobody noticed anything 60 years ago, but it's been going on, and it's been gradually getting worse since, like, starting with with Lincoln, like the other guy said, and then going on and getting worse in 1913, and then 1933 even worse still. And it started to be noticed by people around the 60s. People were starting to get into a revolutionary stage of, they were starting to revolt. And in the 60s, it was mostly students. And now the younger generation is starting to catch on, but they're not getting to the root of the matter. They're going after the existing government, which is really not the best way to go. I mean, there are some things you can do with the existing government in order to make things public, but that's about it. I mean, you're really not going to get very far. And there are even rumors that Ron Paul is just a diversionary tactic and he's not really on our side. I'm not saying all this is true. I'm just saying that there are rumors, and it could very well be true, that these could be nothing more than diversionary tactics with people just, playing the game. And he might actually make president finally when things are looking like that would be the solution. And that's just to get people, away from the real core of the problem, which is pretty much what these people here that you've got as guests are saying. That is the core of the problem. But, yeah, it's always been there. It's just nobody noticed. There are very few. In the 50s, nobody noticed anything. If you talked about this stuff in the 50s, they'd say you were sure crazy. There was nothing really wrong, and it wasn't outwardly shown.
Say that again?
It wasn't as out in your face in the 50s as it is now.
Mm. And I think we were touching on it before, but we were going to get into the fact that, and I know, Bruce, you see a lot of this, like the idea of like the chemtrails and literally taking our health down, not only to, I guess, prevent the population from going completely uncontrollable, or also just to keep us unhealthy so that we're not in a state to be able to do anything about this. And I know, Bruce, you and I have talked about this before as well, and I know, Will, you and I have talked about that too. So, I mean, this is all part of the same plan, right?
Yes.
Sure appears that way.
Well, you wanted to get in because both of y'all help with in this kind of regard. I mean, Will, do you want to talk about ways of how people can actually overcome things, especially like when it comes to the chemtrails and like the high fructose corn syrup and genetically modified foods, and ways that we can actually get over this? I mean, because that's a lot of where you work with too, and it's kind of hard to avoid this at this point. Do you think?
Right. Well, over the years, I've developed a plan in my clinic, a use of some products that gets the heavy metals out of your body. I mean, from a cellular level out, actually even able to pull the lead out of your bones, the mercury out of you, the cadmium, the strontium, the boron, barium, all these heavy metals, to get those out of your body, and put this plan together. And actually, it's very simple, and it's natural. And on my website, www.bodyelectrician.com, there's a whole tab about it called Nature's Chelation. And the answers are, in my opinion, still in nature. It's just that nature's so messed up right now. I just got an article today emailed to me that the heavy metals and so forth, chemicals and whatnot, they're putting out through the chemtrails are killing the soil bacteria. Now, if you've watched the movie What Are They Spraying, or something like that, I forget the exact name of it, but in there was a biologist from California who is monitoring the pH of the soil in California, and he's noticed in the soil pH is being altered, and that has aluminum and things in the soil, and the bacterial life is going away.
I haven't even heard that one.
So what I've come up with is basically putting the microorganisms back into our body, and then some other minerals back into the body. And these microorganisms actually go in and digest and pull these heavy metals out and decontaminate us. As well as we have a soil inoculant kit that we're getting ready to release later this year, that actually puts the soil-borne microorganisms into the soil and remediates the soil, or reverses the damage in the soil.
Very, very nice. And then you also, I mean, besides also just realizing that we all have certain abilities and that everything, I know, well, Bruce's site, like with World Peace Alliance, has to do mainly with like worldwide prayer and realizing the powers that we truly all have, and like with the vibration that exists not only exists like within the earth and ourselves, but we have the ability to use and manipulate it. There's some things in that can be used. That's how people have natural healing abilities, how little things that are just make us a part of the world around us that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And when you actually become healthy, well, at least to compared to current standards, I guess, that seriously your mind can clear and you become more aware of things that are happening around you, such as this, and at least gives you an option and the health to be able to do something about it. But you want to talk about like the vibration, like seriously the whole, that everything is connected? Because I still find this absolutely fascinating.
Well, on an energy level, we are all connected. On an information level, there's a universal vibration. With the new science, there's somebody ringing my phone. So am I cutting out at all? I can't hear it, but there's somebody trying to ring my phone.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
I don't know who that is, but at any rate, the new science is out that everything is energy. We're all connected, and you have to excuse me. My kids just got home. Sorry about that.
Don't you love live radio? No, it's okay. This is, I mean, I'm outside with my son, and I just had to, like, log out the computer, so.
I got a family, too. But on an energy level, it's all one energy. I mean, we have all these different religions and all these different points of view, if you want to call energy chi, if you want to call it orgone, if you want to call it, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's basically, in my mind, it's all the same energy. And it's everywhere. They have cameras that can film our energy out 3-4 feet. And in our auras.
Stop. Find another one, please. Then stop flying.
And you learn that. I learned that in my classes that I took regarding energy awareness. And when you really understand about energy, it's like you walk into a room and you sometimes you feel automatically compelled to go talk to somebody, or you feel compelled not to talk to somebody. So we're just picking up on energy field. Either they're resonating with us or they're not resonating with us. And when you understand and are aware of that,
well, look at Bruce. Bruce, you want to jump in here? Because, no, it's okay. Bruce, you want to jump in? Because, I mean, we get into so many things that all have to do with energy.
Right, exactly. See, what I have on the website, to a great extent, has to do with what this man here has just been talking about. It has to do with energy. There's a video there by Professor Lipton. He's a Dr. Lipton. And
yeah, Bruce Lipton talks about that quite a bit.
You're talking about with energy. If you go to world-peace-alliance.com, it all says the same thing.
Yeah, Bruce Lipton, that's what you were saying?
Yeah, that's right. You go to the website, you'll see Dr. Bruce Lipton. That's a 6-minute video, and if that gets you interested, then you can go and look at some of the other videos.
There's quite a few others that are talking about the energy and things. You got Greg Braden, you got Dawson Church, you have, I mean, I've got 30 books on my shelf of different authors, all talking about energy and belief and how powerful that is.
Well, yeah, that's what's going to change our world. And that link on the bottom of the page takes you to mind movies. And that's what we, as people wanting to change the world, have to do, is get a movie in our mind about what the world's going to be like instead of dwelling too much on what is existing now. I'm not saying
we don't seem to realize the effect we have. The simple being, like, if we have a headache or we have a headache, we get it. There's simple things that just speaking things into being, we truly, if we focus on the bad, then that's what's going to surround you is bad. And this idea of, like, making things like you said. Go ahead.
It's the emotional attachment to it. It's like if you acknowledge that we're in trouble, and you know what the trouble is, just like Gandhi did. He understood the politics, and he even wrote about the politics in detail. But his statement is what helped them to get free. It was simply, we are the change we seek. It's got to be inside of us. That change has to be in us. If we want peace, we have to be at peace, and so on. And we have to have a movie of what the life is going to be like. And that thing about changing mental movies is fantastic. Just watch that video. You click on that thing. It's a free video. It only takes, I think, about 5 minutes. But it'll give you a picture of what we should do in our individual lives, and then we should make these movies of a world and put them on YouTube, for God's sake. It's legal to do so, by the way. Even although you're using their software, they want you to put your movie on YouTube. There's 1,000,001 of those mind movies on YouTube. Just don't take the one with Bill Gates in it. That's supposed to be an example of a rich man, and you want to be like him, right? When I saw Bill Gates in that video, I said, I don't need this freaking video.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not all be eugenicists, please. It's not the goal we all need to be going for. And money is not necessarily the goal we all need to be going for either. This is about, I guess, more or less realizing the abilities that we truly do have, right? And that we can change things, and the way things are have just been because we have not realized the power, because we've been entertained and dumbed down and not allowed to have control over our own lives, our kids' lives, anything. And we wonder why it is where it is right here and now.
That's how powerful we are. I mean, people don't realize how powerful we are as human beings, because we have been dumbed down, and we have been, fed poisons, and we have been injected with poison. So it's hard to realize, we've got, 100 and some years of, at least 80 to 90 years of strong programming against who we really are, to keep us hidden from ourselves.
Hey, Nick, real quick, this is Ninja.
Oh, thank you, Ninja.
Yeah, I've been on it.
My
I
phone's
didn't know if
about
you
to
were
die, too. Thank you. Stay there, because this phone's about to die. So I'm so glad you made it before it did. Thank you so much, Ninja. I appreciate it. I'm going to go try to get another phone after this if it dies. But thank you.
No problem. I'm going to bring some more callers on, all right?
Thank you. Go ahead.
No problem. All right, we got my man, let me see. DJ, this is Ninja Scroll. On this for Nick real fast while she goes change the phone. You guys hanging there with us. I got DJ Joshua on the line. DJ Joshua, what's going on?
What's happening, my man? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you great, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, not much. I was going to jump in a minute ago and make a quick point. They were talking about energies and things of that nature. And I've seen an experiment that gave me a very strong argumentative side for there being a mass collective consciousness. And I don't want to misquote, but I'm not sure I'll have this all exactly right, but I can give you the loose facts of it. There was a control group of people that were secluded from everyone else. They were kept in a controlled environment, and they were given crossword puzzles the same day that everyone else in the world was working them out. So they worked them out, and they did about average. Well, they then went back and gave this same control group a series of crossword puzzles that everyone had worked out a week previously. So everyone else in the world had already seen these crossword puzzles and answered them. Well, the control group did so much significantly higher on those than the other ones that it was almost impossible to rule out the fact that we do draw from some sort of a mass collective conscious.
What's your guys' thoughts on that? What are you talking about?
What do I think what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I would think I really can't say very much about that, except it's pretty much what's true. I can't say much about that.
So you would agree with me on that there's a lot of evidence to support the fact that we do draw from a collective conscious?
Oh, we draw from a collective consciousness, and I could give you an example of that. When I was giving out flyers having to do with the flu vaccine and how dangerous it was, people were picking up on it without reading anything. Because by the time I was hearing about this around the world, especially in Europe, that they would give up somebody a flyer and they'd say, "Oh, you mean that vaccine is dangerous?" And he said, "I know that already. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it." And it's like that's why the numbers of people all over the world that stopped taking any vaccines was drastically reduced. It was everybody was getting alarmed when they were giving out the flyers. They were alarmed for their fellow man. They were caring, and that's the 100th monkey syndrome.
Right.
Yeah, you did notice a lot of people didn't want to take those vaccines. Everybody refused it, and I think it threw a monkey wrench into their plan, trying to vaccinate everybody.
They were looking for minimal resistance, and they were about to force everybody to do it, too. And they came very close, and they did an experiment in Massachusetts, and they backed down because the people were so pissed and so resistant that they knew that they were going to have a hard time doing it, especially trying to inoculate people's kids. I mean, it was going to be hell to pay if they did, and they backed down.
Yeah, they backed down real fast.
Oh yeah, France. They had martial law. They had martial law in France. They actually passed a law in Greece, and nobody obeyed it. And they don't even have guns there. So it's like it was just they knew they weren't going to get away with that one.
Yeah, they really tried their hardest to push that too. I mean, I know I got some letters home from school where they were trying to tell our kids, tell me I had to get my kids inoculated and all the vaccines and all that stuff. And then in the letter it said, this is in big bold black letters, this is not mandatory. So I'm saying to myself, so you're telling me it's not mandatory, which means one day it will be.
Yeah, they tried, but they didn't succeed. They're just waiting for us. They're waiting for the people to get dumber and dumber and dumber. And the radiation and the more poison in the food, higher doses. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for it to get worse and worse and worse, and finally people can't resist. They're too poor to resist. They can't buy food. They can't even think straight. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for people to be begging for food on lines, willing to go through anything to get what they want.
With all the fluoride and aspartame they're trying to cram down our throats and everything else, it's really just a matter of time.
Well, not including that, you have the chemtrails with all the aluminum and all the other crap in them.
Right.
You've got genetically modified foods. You got open atmospheric mosquito spraying all over in the South. We're being bombarded on so many different levels with chemicals and heavy metals. It's amazing the human body can even exist sometimes, especially like right now around the Gulf of Mexico with all the other chemicals coming in off the water. Those people down there are really starting to suffer and see the effects of that.
Absolutely.
What do you think? What do you guys think about the bee population dying off? You think that these chemtrails have anything to do with that, or any of these things they're spraying?
I do. I mean, there's studies out now that we know that it's the pesticides in the agriculture, coupled with the diminished nutrition in the pollen and the nectar for the bees. Plus, you got the chemtrail issue now that no one's even addressing that. But mostly it's the pesticides, and I wouldn't surprise me if the EMFs are in there also.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you touched on the Gulf of Mexico a little bit ago. Is it possible that the correction that they're spraying down there is getting into the agricultural and the fish and the seafood and stuff down there? You think that's all going into that?
Absolutely. To date, they've got over 5 million gallons of oil dispersant they're spraying, and they're still spraying. Just 2 days ago, I had a call from a client down there around the Gulf that they're still spraying oil dispersants today. They're even spraying on the east side of Florida all the way up to the Carolinas right now to keep that oil under the surface.
And you don't even hear about it that much anymore in the news. They kind of slip that under the rug. It's not even happening anymore. And this stuff is still coming up all on the beaches and everything.
Yeah, it's a total media blackout, just like the media blackout right now of the radiation coming across the ocean from Japan. Yeah. You're not hearing the truth of how high the radiation is on the west coast of the country right now. It's a total media blackout. I know.
Yeah. They're not even talking about Japan anymore. Now it's all about Libya. It's like they're playing a magic trick with us, with smoke and mirrors. On this hand, you got this, and over here behind my back is something else happening, and it's not really here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like what I was saying earlier. I do 2 news shows on our other network, and I've been digging and digging, searching, trying to find some sort of new information on Japan, and it's like pulling teeth now. All of a sudden, just 2 days afterwards, they stopped covering everything, and it's the same thing. It reminds me of exactly what they did with the BP oil disaster. As soon as they could get it out of people's minds and had something else, the diversion was on. And I reported live from the Gulf Coast on one of our shows about a month ago, and I saw firsthand the devastation and damage down there, and the fact that they haven't continued any kind of efforts to make it right, only to hide it.
Hey guys,
we got Nick back on the line here. Nick, I'm going to put myself on mute and just listen on the phone or on the computer.
No, you don't have to put yourself on mute. You can always stick around. You know that. I'm so happy y'all stuck in. Thank you. I'm back upstairs. I've got my computer. I've got the switchboard. I got everything back. Woohoo! So, thank y'all so much. I'm so sorry. That was like the last thing I expected. So we still got everybody with us, right? Will, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. We were talking about the Gulf. I forget the other fellow's name there, but we were talking about the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, that would be Bruce, right? Bruce, you're still there?
That's me. I'm still here.
Speaking of me?
Yeah, the Gulf. I remember that whole thing with the Gulf thing too. Yeah.
Oh, he was talking to Joshua.
They tried to sweep that for the rock.
Uh-huh.
You know, all of us are talking. You know, we really. It's just funny how they just automatically just said this not happening anymore, and they stopped covering the Gulf, and they stopped covering Japan, and they stopped covering everything. Once something else, it's like they create something to happen, to make something happen so you can forget about the thing that's already happening, and then most people just neglect everything and say, okay, that's done, because they're not talking about it no more, so it's fixed. So let's talk about this issue now. Everybody thinks that the Gulf is fixed, and they think that Japan is not a problem anymore, but it is, and it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, there's also the whole thing that we have the ability to do something about it. I mean, beyond just this whole idea of bringing back the Republic, but seriously standing up and maybe taking care of our neighbors, which is exactly what we were talking about to begin with, right, Will? That sovereignty means actually taking, I love this word, responsibility for yourself, right?
Right. Yeah, it goes back to the one simple rule that I really give a good go at living by is, you treat your neighbor as yourself. How many people do that anymore?
The great golden rule, right? Do unto others as we would have them do unto you. Now the other golden rule is being replaced. Whoever has the gold makes the rules, right?
Right. The corporate golden rule.
Nowadays. It's all about self. Everybody's about themselves and doing for themselves right now. It's not anymore, taking care of anybody or even talking to your neighbors isn't even nobody even does that anymore. You live right next to people and you walk by them and say hi and that's it. You don't even know nothing about them. You don't care about them. It's all about as long as you have your job and your little money and food on your table. That's all you care about nowadays.
Actually, if you look at someone and you actually wave or try to communicate with your neighbor, they're going to think you're after them. They're going to think you're going to come steal what they got.
They think you're crazy. Look at the funny and all that.
Good example of that. I think I said something about it on our show when I was down there in the Gulf. There was actually an elderly couple that was struggling with some bags trying to make it up to the elevator. And I ended up catching up to them right about the elevator that I was getting on as well. And I just offered some help. Said, hey, I see you guys kind of having a hard time with those bags. Is there any way I can give you a hand? I'm not trying to, carry them in. But if I can help get them up to your room or do anything to give you a hand, I'd love to. And they both just looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. And the gentleman just kind of had a very stern look and replied with, what? And I said again, what I'd said, and they both just shook their heads, no, we're fine. So, I mean, you really can't even help people anymore.
You got to ask yourself, how is it that we're able, all of us here on this network and all over the internet are able to be friends and look out for each other like we do here? I don't know Nickie that well. I mean, I never met Nickie personally or Joshua personally. Well, you two callers personally, but we all have the same mindset. We all on the same page, and we can all get along together. Why is it we can do that over the internet, but not face-to-face with people?
Because that's exactly what's happening right now. I can tell you that. 2011 is definitely a coming together of like minds and like energies. Again, where we were with all this, and where Wil comes into play. Energy sources, and I know even Bruce will tell you this. Like our vibrations are definitely changing. The world is changing. Our universe is changing. Our solar system. And if we don't change, we're going to be left behind. That's not a good thing. The vibration is definitely changing because our solar system is going through a different part of, the universe that it has ever been. And it is literally changing the vibration of different planets. It's heating up. Things are. But it's a natural progression. And as well as the vibration of the planets, the sun, the stars, as they are increasing, so should ours. It's when you don't increase, when your vibration doesn't change, that you become out of sync with the rest of reality, with the rest of our current paradigm of existence, that we all collectively share, this matrix. So what we need to realize is that this increasing vibration, this increasing frequency is not a negative thing. It's actually awakening a lot of the junk DNA that hasn't been useful before now. Because it wasn't time, because like with all life, it definitely ebbs and flows, and we are coming back to a new flow. We reached the bottom part of the ebb, and it's time to start moving back up. So we are all feeling it, because the earth is going through this change, and so are we. That's why we're sitting here realizing that those that need to come together right now are. It may not be in the physical, say I can touch you and shake your hand, Ninja, but I don't see that being too far away from now. There are serious physical changes in this world happening, and just the communication that's been put forth by those that need to meet, where their vibrations are coming together, that is what's happening now. And as this year moves forward, trust me, you're going to see more and more people actually congregating and coming together out of not only necessity, but out of our own vibration, pulling the other. It's literally like magnets. Right, Wil? Wouldn't you say that?
I would say that, absolutely. The only thing constant in nature is change. I mean, the sap is rising in the tree and it's going down in the tree with the seasons. There's nothing stagnant. And this corporate mentality of everything is the same, nothing changes, is coming to an end. That's what I like about this, what's happening. I mean, this is such exciting times in my mind with all these changes going on in all different arenas, political, physical, universal, electrical, biological, that if we're not able or if we're not willing to flow with nature, just like our ancestors did, they just moved with the herd, or they just did their thing with nature. Everything was based on natural cycles. Unless we're willing to get back to that, we're going to miss out. You're not going to like the way life is going to turn out, because there is a natural flow that's happening right now, and either we embrace it or it will run you right over.
That, I can agree to some of that to a certain extent. I just feel that it seems like there's more people that I'm closer to more people online. This is weird because it's never been like this before. But I feel closer to Nickie and Joshua and even you two gentlemen, Wil and Bruce, that I've never even talked. This is my first time talking to you guys, and I feel just because, maybe it's just because we think the same and we have the same mindset and all that, but I just feel a lot more closer to people online when I do these radio shows. I host the show here as well, and people in the chat room. We all have the same mindset, and we all think alike, and I think that is creating something. I think it's a lot. I think it's a stronger bond than I could have with anybody outside of that I can meet in person. Because a lot of people that I meet in person, when I talk about this stuff, they think I'm nuts or they don't want to talk about it at all. And I don't understand how they can't want to talk about this or don't want to be part of this and don't want to have their eyes open to see what is going on, especially with all the things that have happened since January and all the way up until now. How can you not feel something or know that something is wrong and not want to talk about it? People go to work every day and don't even talk about it with their friends. They're with them 8 hours, and they don't say nothing about stuff that's happening in the world, or world events. But they talk about American Idol, and they talk about what's the Dancing with the Stars and whatever else, Fruit Loops and candy bars. You know, you see it all the time on Facebook. On Facebook, they say the dumbest things on Facebook. I mean, is that all you got to say? You can't say anything else? You have nothing important to say? I don't understand that.
Yeah, Facebook is like, I had a hard day today. I'm tired. I got to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and now I have to get up at 6.
Yeah.
You know. Look at the Look at my picture. I have 10 pictures of how beautiful I am. Now I've just changed my appearance, and I look better now. I got a haircut, and I went to the beauty parlor. Now look at me now. See, it's different than it was last week. How do you like these pictures?
Well, luckily with these like minds coming together, like on my my Facebook, I've got like close to about 2,800, I think, and there's probably my wall goes so quickly, like it updates like every 2 minutes. I swear, you can scroll all the way to the bottom, and it doesn't stop 2 minutes past that. That's that fast. But because of the people coming together, they're like minds, and again, the people that are similar and friends and blah blah blah, the way that works. Majority of my friends do nothing but post news and information about New World Order fights, which I love, and it's become like a nice tool against what it was originally created to be. Yeah, I see Eric. I see a lot of people from here, that are here as well from my from Facebook. I mean, we got Eric, we've got Bill's there, Pinky, Will, Bruce, let's see who else is in there. Cheryl's in there, my sister, a ton of people. And we've got you can use it if you use it for the right ways. If you see that you put forth your energy when you do something, there's intention behind it. And there is this energy wave that literally comes from your thoughts and any action that you put forth in this shared reality. And when you do so, it definitely either attracts or, repels those that have their own energy, of course. And so you can actually build quite a nice thing like YouTube. Man, that is so controlled, it's insane. But look what it can do. Look what it did for the people in Egypt, just bringing out information. Even if it was for a short time until they could control it and get it removed. But for that short time, it can make a serious impact, even if it's just on one person. That one person can be extremely important. Hey, we're going to bring in another caller, a Skype call, all ones. You're with Nickie Nix, and let's see, who else is here? We got Will, we've got Bruce, and we've got Ninja here. So, hi, welcome. Maybe not. All ones, your mic's open if you want to say hi. That's cool. We'll keep moving forward. So, hey, Will.
Hello.
See, how's your kids? You enjoying your afternoon?
Yeah, well, they're calmed down now, so I can think a little clearer now.
Yeah, they got their attention from Dad, and now they're good.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't think before. It's hard to, I can multitask, but not 14 things at one time. Too much stress, overload.
Very true. Well, you want to get into more about, because with the vibration, I mean, seriously, that's what we can use. That's actually what can heal, as opposed to what the medical community would like you to take more drugs so that you keep buying more and keep repeating this cyclical path that we can't seem to get off of.
Well, right. Well, why do we hurt to begin with? Why do we have disease? Why do we even have to treat those things? Because there's a systemic problem. We didn't have hardly any of these diseases and maladies we have today, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. I mean, we have degradation in so many different areas. We have, for instance, our food, organic or conventional, has less than 20 minerals available. We need 60 to be remotely healthy. Our food just isn't our food. Like Hippocrates, was it? I believe it was. I can't think of the name. But, our food should be our medicine, and our medicine our food. It can't be that way today. Sorry. I don't care on what you eat, even if you raise your own, because the soil microorganisms aren't there, and the minerals aren't there. So the plant's going to be deficient. We're deficient. You know, most of the diseases we have today are because of deficiencies and toxins.
You had also mentioned earlier about the grounds like missing their bacteria. It's also been found in a lot of vegetables as well. And there's a certain bacteria that are killed off. Hold on, baby. There's a lot of plants that are killed off from the spray, you know, the Monsanto freaking Roundup Ready spray they put on things. That what it does, especially genetically modified, is it takes out the bacteria, this bacteria that naturally is part of the plant, that when it exists actually prevents cancer. It's amazing. Anybody who has this like bacteria in their diet literally can't get cancer. But all of a sudden it's gone because they're killing it all so that they can make it okay for the Roundup Ready crops to be able to be bug-free. Because, you know, that's just terrible.
Right. Well, for instance, potatoes, I could talk about agriculture because I come from agriculture, my background. And nowadays, they actually sterilize the soil before they plant potatoes. I mean, they've got such a harsh chemical that they put on the soil, it kills every single thing. So they're killing off the microorganisms to begin with, and then they just put their nutrient, what they need to raise that potato, in through the irrigation systems. So basically they have a 100-acre hydroponic operation. They're just using the soil to hold up the plant while they pump all the nutrients through the irrigation system, and they put on airplanes and helicopters fly over to keep the bugs down and whatnot with spraying chemicals on top of them. So basically that's all agriculture for the most part is today. You know, it's a hydroponic system. And they use chemicals. They use synthetic fertilizers. So this is what you're eating when you're getting food shipped in from Chile or from Brazil or even all over this country. You're getting, it looks like food, but it's really not. I mean, it's food-like substances. It's actually toxin. You're better off eating nothing for the most part than eating the food in Walmart.
Yeah, you know, back in the day, we actually used to know the people that would grow our food or raise the cattle that we would butcher to eat. You know, come on. We used to know these community people back when we actually had an effect on our life because, you know, nobody would put something into their mouth that they didn't know where it came from. Wow, but we do willingly every single day, don't we?
Well, right. Well, that has been taken away systematically over the last 80 years. So you don't know who's raising your food. You don't know your neighbor anymore. Like the other fellow was talking about, we don't know our neighbor. We don't know the farmer next door. We don't know. I mean, that's a purposeful. That's been done purposefully and systematically for a reason, to keep us in the corporate system. So we are dependent on the system, and we're fearful if we speak out against it. That's why I like your show so much. I mean, you're, Rise Above, what is the name of your show?
Dehumanization, I know.
Dehumanization, I mean.
Yeah. Yep. About the phoenix, literally rising up. We have the ability to get over everything that has been pushed upon us. This weight, this overwhelming presence that we see and we run from because it seems too powerful. But we need to realize that the power is within ourselves. Hey, we got another call. Are you up for it? Will?
Well, I didn't hear that last part. You cut out.
Not a problem. I said we got another caller. Are you up for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. 352 area code. You're with Nickie Nix, Wil Spencer, and it looks like we still got Frank Kettler with us. So how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Oh, hey.
Hello? Hey.
Hello?
Hey, do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, times have changed. We no longer have a local farmer, we have a larger population, so therefore we have to be fed by some large company to produce all the food for us. So, can we go back to local farming? Do we have enough space?
Well, see, that's just it. We're confused about space. What about vertical growing? What about greenhouses with vertical growing? Or we could even bring in aquaponics, where you have fish and an ecosystem with vertical growing that can sustain not only an individual family but a small community. It's very easy, but we're taught, no, it's just not possible. We could actually bring plants and food and a viable environment to the world if we truly wanted to. The thing is it's not beneficial for those that are in power currently.
Right. Well, and that's what we're creating here, right? Creating like a small band of people to, you know what I'm saying, to
actually have an effect on the world around them, to maybe even just affect one person, to influence someone into doing their own research. Those are what make things beautiful. That's exactly what we're here to do. Don't you think so, Will?
That's exactly what we're here to do.
Yeah, I've got some information on our website about that, you know, being self-sufficient in a particular area, and some of the political methods. By the way, even with this problem regarding the republic having been distorted, on a local level, there are still counties, some states that are rebelling against the federal system. And if we can exploit that in certain areas, we can get self-sufficient as far as growing our own food, bartering amongst ourselves.
Right, and the way to beat the government is to not pay tax. And by bartering, that's the way to defeat the government.
Right. Well, even without doing what, you know, the whole thing, if we don't get that whole thing done, or up until the time we get that whole thing that we're talking about having a brand new federal government, and up until that time, we still have control. If there's enough of us, a lot of us, not in every area, but in many areas, we still have control of the local government. And if we can get that control, then we can be independent. Just like Montana, you know, it said to the federal government, we're not going to accept any of your gun laws. So in certain parts of the country, we can migrate to those areas, and we can gain greater independence of our agricultural system and so forth, and just work within the system that we create in those particular areas.
Right.
There are areas where the sheriffs are rebelling against federal and state government. And
which
those
is
are the
where
areas.
the sheriff can stop anybody at their town line, by the way. When we get past just the state's rights, which the state technically has more authority than the federal government unless it's state by state, you know, commerce. But the sheriff can literally keep people from coming in if it's not a corrupt sheriff.
Right. Even well, let's put it, even the county. It doesn't have to be the state. It can be the county that stands against the federal government. And there are counties right now that are doing that. I mean, where the sheriff's on your side, and, you know, the people are self-sufficient, those are the areas where people have to concentrate and go to.
And if anybody's lazy and says they can't be self-sufficient, they need to talk to Bruce here. All right? That's all I got to say. Because Bruce, he'll tell you straightforward. Go ahead. Go.
Well, I live on the side of a mountain, and I don't have any electricity coming, any wires coming here. I have no water lines coming here. I'm using a cell phone right now. It's running off the sunlight. I got a pellet gun with 2,000 rounds of pellets, so I can kill rabbits without wasting the other ammo or making a lot of noise. And I'm pretty much, I don't live off the land per se. I do drive in, you know, to get food, but I'm very particular where I get my food from. But at some point, when it becomes necessary to get water out of the ground, I've learned how to do that.
And there's simple things, and people are all so lazy. Oh, it's so difficult. We can't do it. Oh, no.
I don't think people are lazy. Some people don't know how. Sometimes they got to have the information. Sometimes we're scared to learn. That's what the problem is. Sometimes we're just scared to learn.
Well, anybody who wants to get on the internet and go searching around, they'll get all the information they want. When I first came out here 7 years ago, I was using car batteries, regular car batteries, and I burned them out because I didn't do any reading first. And I realized after a while you got to use a certain kind of deep cycle battery or it's going to wear out real quick.
Right.
If you try running a regular battery down, all the way down, the regular battery will take about 2 cycles or 3 cycles, and it's dead. So I learned the hard way. I threw away 2 batteries trying to use regular car batteries. So I had to learn the hard way. Some of that stuff cost me some money, but I finally got it down. I got a wind generator, and I got some solar panels, and I haul water in here from the spring. The spring is really clean. I don't even have to worry about radiation in that water because it's down under the ground. So, but at some point I may not be able to haul water, and I will have to dig into the ground to get water, and I've learned how to do that.
Okay, so there are possibilities. The thing is that back in the day, we used to have like our grandparents around, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins. Our family was always close by, or at least within a phone call or a letter, which has sadly gone away, and most people don't even know their extended family, much less, their forefathers, so to speak, It's sad, the way things are starting to go. But, I just put in the Body Electrician, or bodyelectrician.com, which is another site for Will. I'll put in Bruce's site in just a second, which both are very much people should check out. I mean, I'm still impressed, Will. You like have a little bit of knowledge here on a little bit of everything, but like we said earlier, right, it's kind of hard to ignore that it's all connected, and that once you see something and you actually become at least awake, you don't have to be enlightened, but once you're slightly awake, you see it's hard to ignore the control grid that's on top of the matrix we share. How about that?
It is hard, but once you wake up, the biggest thing with waking up is not to be filled with fear, and we have fear all around us. I mean, you just turn on the news, turn on the television, to open the newspaper. We have all these fears, and really, for the most part, it's all just an illusion. There's nothing really to be scared of. I mean, you don't have to be scared of getting the flu. I mean, or you don't have to be scared of Bin Laden. I mean, for all I know is that's a made up. That's a whole. It's all an illusion. It's all pretend. The whole system, everything's built on fear.
You can find the truth by listening to the mainstream media. You know how you find the truth?
Everybody laughed. That was good. Okay, keep going.
No, it's true. It's true. Everything's the opposite. They're telling you not to be afraid of the radiation. The radiation is fine. You don't even leave it short wave. You don't have to listen to alternative media. All you have to do is hear them say, you don't have to worry about this radiation. The levels are not any threat to you at all. And so you just say, whoops. We got a problem with that radiation. It's for sure dangerous. We better watch out for that one. And then they say Bin Laden is going to get you. The terrorists are going to get you. All this stuff is bad. We need to protect you. And just say, it's just the opposite is true. That's all you need. Just listen to the mainstream media. You don't need a shortwave radio. You don't need to listen to alternative radio. All you have to do is listen to the mainstream media and realize that the opposite of true is true of whatever they say.
Good point, Bruce.
Yeah, that is, but that's actually a little bit better when that those that are infiltrators, the trolls, whatever, that are here in the truth movement or whatever you want to call this movement. I don't like the title, but it's the simple fact that they'll give you a little bit of nugget of truth and then feed you nothing but lies. So at least if the mainstream media does nothing but the exact opposite, at least you can know where you lie at that point in time.
Oh, yeah, they were saying that about the Gulf. Everything's fine. Go swimming in the Gulf. The people who went swimming in the Gulf wound up in the hospital.
And many of them dead.
Yeah, many of them died. You could go swimming in the Gulf. Can you imagine how cruel that is?
I hated seeing those videos with those little kids playing with the dirt, the oil balls and stuff. It just about broke my heart. I was like, please don't. They're surrounded in Crexit. No.
We're supposed to go to the Gulf in a couple of months.
What's that?
I said we're supposed to go to Destin, Florida in a couple of months.
I'm going to be down in the Gulf at the end of this month. I'm giving several seminars from Pensacola all the way to New Orleans and Baton Rouge, telling people about what's going on. I've got a program that's actually been able to reverse the damage from all that chemicals exposure.
That's right. I forgot about that, Will. That's great. I forgot that you had that.
Sir, how bad is it? I don't know what resources to this to, but how bad
Well,
is it?
look, here, Will can actually help you. He can help
along the coast
beforehand, too, right?
Hello?
No, you're still there. I'm just saying, Will, you can even help him beforehand, right, to maybe prepare for it?
Oh, absolutely. It's prevention as well as a cure, as a fix.
See? So you're doing
Absolutely.
all right. You don't have to fear. That's the thing. That's the other thing. Don't fear, but at least be knowledgeable. That's the other thing. Don't take what anybody says at value. Find out for yourself. So we really have that ability. So yeah, Reed. Hey, Will can help you out. Check out his. I put it the link. I'll put it in again. Are you in the chat room, caller?
No, ma'am. I'm on the cell phone.
Okay. Well, you can find him at it's bodyelectrician.com.
Bodyelectrician.com. Okay.
Right? Is that right,
Yeah.
Will?
Yeah. Or you can email me at Wil, W-I-L, at bodyelectrician.com. You can Facebook me, Wil Spencer. I mean, you can get a hold of me. I'm not hiding from anybody.
1L for those listening. 1L. W-I-L.
Yeah, just 1L.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people down there, amazing illnesses are taking place down there. I mean, you don't just have the chemical exposure, though. You have some synthetic or semi-synthetic bacterial exposure. You have the combination. You have deficiencies and toxins all over the place down there.
You also have a phone number, too.
Mr. Will, is this Texas also in Florida? In Florida also?
This is from Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, east and west coast of Florida. I've got clients that are on the over by Daytona Beach right now. They called me when they were in a wheelchair. That's how severely sick these chemicals made these people in the wheelchair, and the doctor just sent them home. They couldn't do anything. They've tried antibiotics and all this other stuff. Nothing worked. And 3 weeks working with me, and they're out of the wheelchair, and they're functioning halfway normal again.
And this is WilTheElectrician.com?
Well, you also have a phone number, right?
BodyElectrician.com.
You also
I got a phone number if you want to write that down, yeah. It's 610-417.
Okay, hold on. Body Electrician. I'm driving.
No problem. What I can do, if you hang in there, man, if you hang in there, because I still got an hour of show, just hang in there, and I'm about to do a commercial. I can put y'all on the side. Just let me know when you can, and we can take care of this. But, Will, your phone number is 610, because I'm putting it in the chat room as well, 417.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
7248.
7248. For anybody else who wants help or that could use a vibrational healer, or if you're near the Gulf, which I know a lot of it are.
Yeah, if you want to know about, if you live close to Biloxi or Pensacola or Baton Rouge or New Orleans, I'm going to be down there at the end of the month, the last week, right after Easter. I'll be down there.
Right at my birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, coming up. My son's birthday was just now. And then, of course, my birthday's May 2nd, which, if people will let me, I'll keep telling you every day. So, hey, we got to celebrate my birthday. So, yeah, he'll be here right about that time. And I'm in Texas, so trust me, I see it. Or at least hear a lot of people that see it. But we're going to take a quick break, so, man, just hang in there, and we'll make sure that y'all get connected for sure. let me put this all, y'all are all going on mute. I do apologize, but I got to do that for these ads. And of course, you're with Nickie Nix on Freedomizer Radio. And let's see, you can find the other host at www.freedomizerradio.com. We are with Wil Spencer. And as I just put in the chat room, you can find him at bodyelectrician.com. The phone number's in there as well. And for Bruce Kettler from World Peace Alliance, you can find him at www.world-peace-alliance.com, and that's in the chat room as well. We'll be back with y'all quite shortly. This has been a nice show. And actually, I was going to ask you, Will, you still willing to hang in there? Can you believe it's already been 2 hours?
I know. No, I'll be here if you don't mind.
No, I would love for you to. So I know 3 hours disappears so much more quick than people seem to understand.
I know.
So
I'll be here for a little while yet.
You're awesome. So hang in there, everybody, and we'll be right back with you, Freedomizers.
Hi, folks. CT here. I want to talk to you about a great preparedness resource, tomorrowsharvest.com. Whether it's an economic collapse or nature's fury, there's no feeling more secure than knowing that your loved ones will be well fed. If it's time to bug out or just camping with the family, Tomorrow's Harvest offers high-quality, cost-effective, and long-term smart food storage. Get your free sample. The choices are great. From blueberry pancakes to the cowboy chili, no one else has the meal variety of Tomorrow's Harvest. They also provide other survival necessities. Check out the various packages and customize your meal supply. Remember, there's no reason for fear today when you're prepared with Tomorrow's Harvest. Go to www.tomorrowsharvest.com and tell them you are Freedomizer.
I am an autonomous government agent here to steal your livelihood.
Not so fast. I'm Sovereign Filing Solutions.
And I'm the Sovereign. We're teamed up
to bring you
the truth without censorship.
Are you tired of being fed multi-million-dollar media lies?
Are you ready for the real story?
Sovereign Filing Solutions has teamed up with the Sovereign newspaper to make sure you get it.
And not the BS this guy behind me wants to feed you.
Take the step, help make the change.
Oh, come on, that's not even fair. How are we supposed to rule indiscriminately if you know what's going on?
Occult symbols, Satanism, Freemasonry, backward masking, satanic lyrics, demonic possession. What's in your music? Let's get it all out in the open on the Step Up to the Mic show with Ninja Scroll and DJ Joshua every Monday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Freedomizer Radio.
Howdy, folks. Buford T. Slaughter here. As part of my continuing rehabilitation, and in conjunction with my anger management coach and my parole officer, I am required to do community service in the form of public service announcements. The TSA needs you. If you're the kind of guy that doesn't mind looking at naked boys and girls as they walk through the naked body scanners, or if you don't mind pulling an 82-year-old grandma out of her wheelchair, beating the heck out of her, make sure she's not carrying any bomb-making equipment, and if you don't mind taking people that object to this kind of treatment, slapping the heck out of them, pulling them in the back room, and strip searching them, then the TSA is for you. The TSA is hiring men and women to work at numerous locations around the United States, and the only qualifications are you must have longer than average index fingers, be able to sit and stare at a screen while naked people walk in front of you, and be able to take orders without any questions whatsoever. So, if you're interested in the TSA, please call 1-800-BROWN-SHIRT. 1-800-BROWN-SHIRT. And on a personal note, when the TSA does frisk you as you're going through the airport security, it is an act of love for the U.S. government. It is not an act of rape, so please do not beat them up. Thank you for your time.
You're listening to Step Up to the Mic with Ninja Scroll and DJ Joshua and Freedomizer. Stick around, because right after this, it's Nickie Nix and Rise Above Dehumanization right here on Freedomizer Radio.
Alright, I had to check out that ad because I know it took me a minute to find it. Ninja said that he did that and like added it in. So I had to find it. That was just me playing. I had to at least see what it was. I know he said he had done that because they're on right before me on Monday and Wednesday, which I used to have the first time slot. But I love those guys. So, man, we have so much fun. It's great. So, let me find one last song, and then we're good. I think I'm going to play some... One more Payday Monsanto Etonomuli, which is Illuminati backwards. But, hey, we're right back. Hang in there.
They are going to release a bioweapon that is going to kill almost everybody. Now I want to explain something to you. This is guaranteed. Guaranteed. I will take the curse. Oh, yeah. Throw it in reverse. All right. Damn, that was fresh. We don't tolerate no pretenders for the money.
I think your mentality has done a 180-degree flip. I think you like to get tied up and lash with a whip. Strung upside down, a jack for your shit, covered in feces with thumbtacks in your lip. That's what you get when you fuck with the king. Making the wrong move will get you stuck in the bing. God bless America's the song you should sing. You're dealing with child molesters in the pedophile ring. Everything's under heavy control, from your puppet president to your petty patrol. When they protect the infrastructure, they'll be ready to roll. Fuck a mortgage foreclosure, they will lever your soul. Communication giants are spying on you from Venus, and you think it's coincidental they own all the arenas. To know the outcome, it doesn't require genius. Verizon wireless services are interlinked with FEMA's. I got Veritas on my side in the end, my friend. What do you got? Probably mercury-free flu shots. You ain't touching this without oven mitts. It is too hot. You have blown up in the patriot community, and it seems you've shown up with immunity. At the gun rally in Austin, what you said the Blythe wasn't nice, in your liar suits Lawson. If I see you in New York, I hope you say something. I'm not Mike from ProThink, I will spray something. You're a fraud and you can no longer mask that. You can get your bullhorn and your ass cracked. You're the chosen, shepherd and deceiver, $1 million patriot to make them all believers. The new world order star wide receiver, or just the ultimate fall guy like Coach Seaver.
You right now, most people listening to my voice right now are going to be killed by the eugenicist within the next decade. We are all dead.
You are not permitted to say the J word unless you want to die today. You could fly away like a jaybird. Your movement's been infiltrated on every level. Alex Jones has signed a contract with the devil. I have talked to several people who worked with them. They walked away in disgust, letting the dirt hit them. The legitimate truth seeker has been marginalized by self-censoring buffoons with stars in their eyes. It should not be that large a surprise when he tries to make Arabs a formidable villain. That is when I rip off the disguise. That is what you can get with 2.3 trillion. The Church of Jonestein does attract believers. They are chasing their tail just like happy retrievers. Alex Jones is a pussy, no doubt. I never heard the words Dub Zakim come out his mouth.
The helicopters will fly over, the jets will fly over at 2,000 feet. They'll hit us, and within days, we're all going to be dead. Just destroying the Republic.
Yeah, destroying the Republic. Back to where we were. No, I love that. Hey, I was just watching the chat room, so I gotta say something. Never allow fear to paralyze. Yeah, especially if it's in a fight or flight situation. Don't ever let that happen there. That's the moment you actually need to step up and do something. Recognizing fear is not a negative thing. We need to recognize a lot of fear, but recognition of it doesn't mean... Hold on. Okay, there it is.
Hey,
I muted myself again. Just because you recognize fear, it doesn't mean that you have to respond to it. It's good to know that it's there because it definitely helps in a lot of ways. But this idea that we're kept in a state of fear is where I have a problem. But hey, Will, and let's see, Bruce, you still there too?
Yeah, I was just thinking I got to get off of here now.
Well,
What's your
Bruce,
website,
I love
Bruce?
it for sure.
Because of the minutes during the week are not too good.
Yes.
I'll probably next month I'll a different plan. Where
That'll be good because I won't be here tomorrow. I've got my niece's birthday, so I have no show tomorrow.
You won't be here next month?
No, I won't be here tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, well, you won't be here next month either?
No, I'll be here next month. I'll always be here. Unless somebody, chases me off, which I'm a dangerous person, so let them try. Just saying. No, but tomorrow...
What's Bruce's website?
world-peace-alliance.com, and I'll put it in the chat room. I think I did just a minute ago, but I'll do it again. Bruce, he's been in this a long time, which is so great. Much respect, Bruce. You know I love you, so... But tomorrow, usually Bruce comes in with me on Saturday, except if you get a better plan, I'd love for you to be during the week, Bruce, because... I
will be on during the week. There's a link on that website in the links section to the We Are Change site. In other words, you go to the link section and you click at the picture of the mountains, and that's the We Are Change site.
Which you're in We Are Change, Fresno County. Did I say that right?
That's right.
Oh, I'm learning. Always a good thing. But Bruce has been in this fight a long time, and he can definitely help anybody out. So definitely check out his website, world-peace-alliance.com. Sign up for his newsletter, and keep moving forward. He's always learning. 70 years old, right, Bruce? I mean, that's one thing I love about you is you really don't... Age is nothing, you know what I mean? You know more about computers than just about anybody I've ever known. So you talk as fast as I do, which it's hard for most people to keep up with. So see, that's just it. We don't have to be numbed and dumbed down. You don't have to be connected to the grid. You can do it all, and Bruce is a shining example of this. So, I don't know how to say other than much props, my hat off to you. I mean, much love, Bruce.
Well, let me just leave one parting word, or a couple of parting words. The first thing you need is water. I mean, you have to run out of the city. You need is water. Carry water with you and learn how to get water out of the ground. That's the first thing you have to learn. And for quietness, you need an air gun to kill rabbits and squirrels and even a rat, or maybe a groundhog or something. Whatever you can get.
Some other things, so.
Yeah, well, there's some other things you can kill. You can kill birds. Most of the birds around here are so small I wouldn't even want to kill them. They're just too small to eat. I mean, there's so little meat on them. I would eat them if I was starving, but other than that, I wouldn't eat one. But anyway, an air gun is real good because the air gun is quiet. You can carry more ammo, and it doesn't noise. I mean, you want to be quiet when you kill because, you have to run in the foot. You don't want to make a noise unless it's absolutely necessary. So, have an air gun for animals like that. And make sure you learn how to get the water out of the ground. That's the most important thing. Because you can die without water in a few days. You need a shovel, folding shovel so you can carry it on the outside of a backpack real easy. And you need a plastic, plastic, and you need a long, thin, like something to suck water up. And then something like a cup or something, or a bowl to the bottom of the hole you can dig. There's more detail than that, but I'm not going to get into it. But if you have those ingredients, you'll get water out of the ground. That's it. So I'll say goodbye to everybody for now, and hope to catch up with you all later.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Okay,
go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Bruce some other time on the side, not today. But good, nice talking with you, Bruce.
Okay, we'll talk to you again. Anytime you want to talk to me, that's fine.
Yeah, I can get y'all connected. It's not a problem. I'll give you his pager number.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Bruce. Thank you so much for coming. We'll move forward. It's been a fun show, hasn't it?
I think so.
Well, we've had quite an audience at this moment in time, believe it or not. I think this is the first time during this show you and I are actually alone in the caller queue. So, hey, if anybody else wants to join us, yeah, amazingly, we've had quite a crowd today. The caller queue's been full. I had like 6-7 calls on there at one point, so it's been fun. If anybody else wants to,
them all?
I don't know. BTR's been acting funny too. Poor Pinky got kicked off a couple of times, I think. I feel so sorry for her to go through that, but yeah, BTR's been funny. Plus, I think 3 hours is a long time. And we've made it through almost 2.5 hours. But hey, if anybody else wants to call in, we've got and look, I see Pinky. She's coming back in just a second. So hey, any numbers? People can call in 347-324-3704. And of course, like I put in the chat room, you can find Will at bodyelectrician.com, along with some other sites. What, Environautics? I think I got that.
Environautics is my store. Then I have my other website is beassistpro.com, which I actually have been helping and got solutions to help the honeybees stay healthy as well as get healthy.
Which is a major issue today, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
And we don't seem to realize the importance of bees in general. Not only honey, I mean, honey in and of itself, the properties of honey are amazing. And then the fact that they pollinate. I mean, Will, you want to go on that for a minute?
On what, the bees?
Yeah.
Well, we submitted a grant because we were... My issue has been in this country that they won't look at anything that's solution-orientated. They want to spend their money and time dancing around solutions, and we got our grant turned down. So now I just today submitted my grant for research and development, and actually to make a point with the products that we've developed here to Australia and Japan, because they're solution-orientated. They're not so run by the money interests and the corporations in this country. So we are working internationally for solutions. So we have to go outside of this country, which is really sad to say. That's why I'm really active in altering the current state of this country. So the bee issue is a corporate issue. I mean, in my opinion, because we have corporations.
Like everything else, right?
Well, like medicine, like food, like education, like everything in this country is corporate, and it's all based on greed and money and control and like there was a caller a while ago talking about the isolation of you don't talk to your neighbor, and there's no community left anymore. Well, that's all that corporate mindset. I mean, I'm for a community. We, as human beings, are communal animals. We need and rely on each other in our community. And people are starting to get that through the internet. That's what I was so happy with the other fellow talking about. We can do it on the internet. We need to start doing it now in our locality with our neighbors and with the young people that's coming up. I mean, the young people today are understanding the need for community. They just don't have a direction because it's been totally educated out of us. It's been programmed out of us. But there's still an inner instinctive need and drive welling up from the inside of people today that we need to connect with our neighbor again, because the corporate mentality is not working anymore.
We're starting to realize that this nice little blinds that have been put around our eyes are there's much more to the sides than we were originally told. There's A, B, right, left, red, blue, Democrat, Republican. Ideal set that's been put forward. There's so much more. We don't have to accept these answers. There's always another option. And the idea that we are limited to what has been given us is definitely something that we can overcome very, very easily. So I think it's beautiful. And I love what is coming about, the ability that we are coming together, that we are actually meeting those that we need to meet, that we are building the communities that are necessary for us to actually have a noticeable change, at least for those that need something more physical to show that seriously, we have this ability and we have this effect, and it's such a beautiful thing, and it doesn't take much, does it? It really doesn't. All it does, you just have to get up, look at the world around you, read, don't take what is told to you at face value, do your own research, take what works for you, and then leave the rest, because we have the ability, the vibrational resonance with truth and knowledge, as opposed to what is not truthful. That's why when you see these politicians or media gurus on TV, and they always have what's called these telltale tales, right? Telltale tales, I love that. Signals that show that they're lying, or at least, in my opinion, over-exaggerating, which sends the same triggers or the same, I don't know, response, at least in my mental perspective, as a liar. So there are ways that the human can actually see and move forward to this. We just have to, I don't know, get slapped in the face now and then.
Right. Reality.
Yeah.
Pain is your friend. Remember, as it's slapping you across the face, realize that this pain is getting our attention for a reason.
Exactly. That whole fight or flight response was DNA hardwired into the human for a very good reason, so that you don't get taken down by what's being instituted now. But like you said, we've been educated, actually institutionalized, which I love the way you corrected that, because the education system is institutionalized, but you can still educate your child at home and do much better job. But then again, that takes sacrifice and other things that a lot of people may not have the ability to do so, where communities, again, come into play. Because like me, I've always taught, like literally from the time I came home from kindergarten, I would ask my teacher for like extra worksheets, and I would go home and make my younger sisters, sit there and learn. I really would. So for some people, things come naturally, you know what I mean? So
yep,
communities become necessary because you have these certain soul types that literally congregate. Hence why there's this big movement that those that are at least slightly sensitive to the changes happening in our world, they pick up on this and realize that we can come together, that this pool, and it is like magnets. It is energy. That's what it is. I saw a video today about, it was called Singing Suns. I loved it because of NASA's, one of their different probes they've sent out, or satellites, whatever, out beyond Earth's orbit, has picked up the vibration of individual suns up to 10, 15 light years away from Earth. And with vibration comes sound. And it's literally like a symphony of sound there. And when you think about suns, just by them existing and giving life to the world around them, there is vibration and energy that we can perceive here on Earth and pick up by simple technology put into space by NASA. And if that's possible, then, I mean, look what else. We can hear the sound of our planets. And vibration ties everybody together. It's, I don't know how to say other than it's absolutely beautiful. It shows just how much of an effect we have on the world around us. Don't you say, Will?
We do. We're electrical magnetic generators. We give out and we receive. We draw to us what is resonating out of our heart. So if we're resonating fear and worry and anxiety, we're going to get more of that. If we're resonating love and harmony and cooperation, we're going to draw that in at the same time. You know, I mean, just like fear. So it's all about what we're resonating out, we're going to attract.
Again, like this whole idea that if you speak something out loud, it usually comes to be. There's things like if, as a child, we tend to have great wishes, great desires that actually tend to come into fruition unless you're told basically that you don't have that ability. Oh, no, you can't do that. Sorry, mankind was told no. So we tend to doubt, and doubt leads to fear, and fear, when not in the appropriate situation, can be a bad thing. But again, fear is very good when it comes to a fight or flight response. But say you're just, fear led from doubt just because it's different from us, which is what we're taught. We are definitely taught by media, by the government, by the democracy, not by the republic that was instituted. This is not supposed to be, again, two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. And I still thank Alex Jones for that quote. Because that's the perfect example of what democracy is. And I don't think anybody can state it better, because it's majority rules. That doesn't make them right or good, because everybody has the right and the power of the self. And we need to get back to that ability and that power, right?
Right. Yep. Really, you were talking about the fight or flight. Everyone has this wonderful thing called an ego. And in the corporate structure, the ego is groomed and it's fed. And really, the skill there's a skill involved to put your ego out of, how can I say that? There's a skill that needs to be learned and reacquired again to get on top of that ego, or to get the ego out of control, so you're not in that fight or flight anymore. And that's a learned skill, in my opinion, it is anyhow. And like everybody closed their eyes, and they have all this worry going on. They have this voice and this movie playing. What are we going to do for supper? What are we going to do tomorrow? Oh my God! Oh my! All this worry, and there's a skill to get rid of that. And most people are operating out of default by having that loud voice and movie playing in your head running the show, to realize that that's really not you. You're the observer. And you need to put that, when you make that distinction, then you need to regain the skill so you don't listen to that anymore. And then the fear and the fight or flight doesn't run you. Then your worries dissipate. And your health starts to return, because you're not in that worried state anymore.
Exactly. And this is where it all stems from, is it starts simple, like doubt, and it keeps leading. Hey, we got to take another commercial. This will be the last one for the day. So you're going to hang in there with me for the last, looks like we got 25 minutes. So.
Yeah, I'll be here for a little while yet.
Yeah. You're cool. I definitely appreciate it. So I have a problem. There's so many ads now, or hosts and shows. Our soundboard's gotten a little bit large. So let me find. There we go. Okay, I'm here.
There's got to be some callers after the break, isn't there?
We've got one here right now, and then I'm sure there'll be more. We're growing, so here we go. Everybody hang in there. We'll be right back with you.
I am an autonomous government agent here to steal your livelihood.
Not so fast. I'm Sovereign Filing Solutions.
And I'm the Sovereign. We're teamed up
to bring you
the truth without censorship.
Are you tired of being fed multi-million-dollar media lies?
Are you ready for the real story?
Sovereign Filing Solutions has teamed up with the Sovereign newspaper to make sure you get it.
And not the BS this guy behind me wants to feed you.
Take the step, help make the change.
Oh, come on, that's not even fair. How are we supposed to rule indiscriminately if you know what's going on?
You are listening to Freedomizer Radio, where Freedomizers freedomize freedom.
Howdy, folks. Buford T. Slaughter with the Slaughter School of Military Science. We are now enrolling for fall semester for 8 through 11-year-old children, boys and girls. Folks, we have a war against terrorism going on in this country. We have a war against illegal aliens. We have a war against drugs, and we have a war against high cholesterol, just to name a few. Uncle Sam needs your kids to continue this war. Send them to the Slaughter School of Military Science, and in 9 months you will have the most efficient killing machine this country has ever produced. I'm not going to lie to you. There will be pain. There will be suffering. But if your children are properly trained, they will come home alive. Give us a call at 1-800-YOU-KILL. 1-800-YOU-KILL. The Slaughter School of Military Science.
The desire to enslave our fellow man is unfortunately intrinsic to the human character. It has been with us since the beginning of time, on every continent, and in virtually every culture. From ancient Egypt to Babylon to Greece and Rome, Africa, Asia, Europe, the United States. It's a disease of our human nature, yet people are under the impression that it no longer exists.
As long as you behave like a slave, you'll remain in the jacket. To keep you straight and grip you up in court like a racket. Represented, ain't it fantastic? Your attorney and your judge study the same magic. You are an infant, a person that's unsound. They give you life vests, take it off and you will drown. At least that's what they try to teach you. They give you A and B, I don't subscribe to either. You should see Stone Cold through their fallacy when they try to control the debate with a duality. Pick one, then you think you got a choice. You've essentially squandered your motherfucking voice. I talk to the masses to see what I find, and eventually I gathered 500,000 like mine. Fuck 1 million men, there's 100 more times than what you thought. That consensus was created by crimes. Your First Amendment is deader than a doornail. Speaking your mind will get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms, roll up your sleeves. Your First Amendment is deader than a doornail. Speaking your mind will get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms, roll up your sleeves. As long as you behave like a slave, you'll remain in the basement. Lost in a labyrinth of your enslavement. Wandering in a CIA-approved arrangement. Listening to a blabbermouth for entertainment. The truth ain't what it's cracked up to be. Patriots are manufactured in a factory. Most so-called hate groups they've all been to. ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center. You might hear my words ungodly and jest, but you don't know about the wicked Dr. Jolly and West, who looked after Tim McVeigh right up until his death. Sirhan, Jack Ruby, and probably Koresh. Some say Oswald was just one lone nut. Others will say the CIA murdered JFK, so what? The human animal makes me want to channel Lord Milner and execute everybody who's off kilter. All that's out of order, that's what they're saying. Soon to be brought down. And they ain't playing. Fluoride's in your water, that's what I'm saying. Water is in your town. And I ain't playing. All that's out of order, that's what they're saying. Soon to be brought down. And they ain't playing. Fluoride's in your water, that's what I'm saying. Monsanto is in your town. And I ain't playing.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And I am not capable of bowing to a man. And I am not capable of granting jurisdiction. Especially considering the fact that you're a fiction. Especially considering the fact you ain't real. And I'm flesh and I'm blood and I breathe and I feel. And I'm here and I'm now, I exist in this time. And the only place that you exist is the mind. And the only evidence of your existence is paper. I'm 80% water, you ain't even made of vapor. You ain't nothing but a figment of the imagination of men and women whose opinions held as legislation. But how does that opinion then create an obligation upon an autonomous sovereign without a nation? I'm saying, as a king I stand above your law, and it doesn't even matter whether or not I cross your bar.
The First Amendment is deader than the doornail. Speaking your mind could get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms? Roll up your sleeves. Your First Amendment is deader than the doornail. Speaking your mind could get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms? Your beloved America's a British colony de jour. The king funded both sides of the Revolutionary War. The people does not include you. You're a whore. You can verify that in Barron vs. Baltimore. Look on your deed and you'll see the word tenant. Slaves cannot own property, just rent it. Social Security's in place to enslave us. The trust fund, they blew it. Stewart versus Davis. It's all typed out in black and white. Decided very long ago how you'd react and fight. Contingency plans were drawn up exact precise on how to distract your nice from the facts of life. They polarize the people to attack and fight within groups searching for truth and hijack the plight. I knew a few patriots who lacked the price. One of them's drunk in a lounge singing Max and Night. The other two have disappeared unheard of. Some say suicide, others say murder. Watch out for patriots on the radio. Many know the truth, but they simply won't say it though. I ain't looking for beef, cause mostly are friendly. But Alex Jones seen juices as kosher as any. Another money bomb, how much can you lend me? What can I get with 3 quadrillion pennies? Your First Amendment is deader than a doornail. Speaking your mind will get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms, roll up your sleeves. Your First Amendment is deader than the doornail. Speaking your mind will get you fined or more jail. We're building bombs that you wouldn't believe. You want the right to bear arms, roll up your sleeves.
The Jewish people seem to run 90% of all the media and all of the Hollywood movies.
All right, thanks for the call. Everybody hates the Jews. Oh, my God. By the way, Larry didn't say he hated the Jews.
Question, why are you still breathing? I mean, why haven't you really just taken a toaster oven and thrown it in the bathtub with yourself and had a party? Because that's what you need to do.
I mean, Abe Foxman of the Jewish ADL admits that the 8 largest movie studios are run by Jews. Joel Stein, also Jewish. Joel Stein says, of course the Jews run Hollywood and the movies and the media. And Jason, please don't call yourself the info warrior if you don't even know those basic facts. He was asked by reporters, the Jews own Hollywood, and he looked at the reporter like he was nuts. He said, well, of course the Jews run and own Hollywood. So what? According to Jason Berman, you even dare to say that the Jews run Hollywood.
All right, hey, Freedomizers. Nickie Nix back here with you as we rise above dehumanization. And, of course, we're joined by Wil Spencer. Man, I could give so many sites for you. Body Electrician, we could go the Environautics, the B-Assist Pro. I mean, and then the whole like conversation that began with the Republic of the United States and all the effects that the powers that be are trying to push on us, and the changes and the abilities that the individual has to overcome it. And you can help them there, especially those, since you are traveling this area very soon, especially those here in the Gulf. And we keep hearing about the Gulf plague. Oh, no, you know? And what can we do? It's just hurting everyone. And you seriously can show people that there is a way. You want to talk about that a little bit, maybe?
Well, there is I mean, minus barring leaving the Gulf area to get away from the chemical exposure, you have to do something. Unfortunately, the chemicals coming off of the Gulf and the chemicals from all the industry around there are so toxic that they're causing all kinds of problems. And unfortunately, since Katrina was there, you're devastated. You were devastated a few years ago by that, and now with the fishing industry being destroyed, the people down there are feeling it. Now we got the vacationers that are getting sick, and I heard from people that they virtually are going bankrupt because nobody's coming to visit their beach anymore. No one's coming down to park their RV in their campground anymore because of all the toxicity and what's going on. So it's not just the fishermen. Or I mean, it's affecting so many people down there, everybody, that on a monetary level or a financial level, but a health level that really nobody knows about. They're calling it the flu or the Gulf. You know, there are so many different names now. They're all of a sudden,
plague,
I have the flu. You know, for the 15th time in the last year, that's unheard of. I've talked to people that have been on 15 and 16 different rounds of antibiotics without getting any results.
See, and antibiotics, like again we said before, right? I mean, that is nothing more than
Anti-life.
I'm
coming from the other aspect. I'm coming from 180-degree difference. I'm saying put the life God created back in you, and you'll be healthy. Well, now with the chemicals, you're going to have to do a few extra things to get the chemicals out. But I found natural substances in high concentrations to use to help the body chelate the metals out, to chelate the petrochemicals out, to chelate the toxins out, at the same time boost your immunity, repair your digestion, so you don't have to live in amongst that chemical soup and be afraid anymore.
See, it's amazing how much all of this is connected. And a lot of this, for me, like when I first got on air, started with like high fructose corn syrup. And literally finding out how much products that are in the home have that in there. And I know my sister, she's still in the chat room. I know she's just starting to try to clear her kitchen of high fructose corn syrup. And you're amazed at how much it's in. When it comes, especially to children, it's in all children's food. Bread, ketchup, dude, ketchup. They use it as any sweetener and as a browner for breads. They use it as browning. So you can actually get, and the thing we don't realize is this has to do with the overproduction of corn used to feed the cattle, used to feed the people, and it just keeps going from there.
It's not an overproduction. It's a planned production. One thing people don't really realize, like for instance, the products from corn, especially genetic modified corn, if you went to your local store like Walmart or wherever and bought vitamin C or ascorbic acid, you are buying genetically modified products from corn.
Yeah,
people don't really realize
you can even get, what's amazing is, you can get orange slices in fructose syrup.
Right.
I mean, okay, so instead of getting them in orange juice, let's just get them in automatic fructose syrup. And people don't seem to realize the problem with fructose is because of the product that is the byproduct, whatever, of the creation of high fructose corn syrup is mercury. Again, with shots and everything else. You want to go over vaccines a little bit here?
Go over vaccines? I think everybody should get one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's a mercury. Okay, but you can overcome it, right? You have ways to help, at least help the system when it comes to, mercury shots.
You go to my website, there's a whole dialogue about natural chelation. Our body's ability to flush the mercury out and other heavy metals and toxins out falls in the presence of a broad diversity of minerals and microorganisms. We have collected around the world here at the Body Electrician and Environautics over 350 strains of microorganisms from the earth. And by putting them back in, and it's all labeled under one word of probiotics.
Probiotics, pro-life. Look at the difference there.
Pro-life.
Yeah,
pro-life.
As opposed to anti-life, you have pro-life. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Yep. We're for life, they're against life. Or, it's that simple. I'm saying you put the life back into the body, and the body will heal itself for the most part. I mean, I use a program that's been designed over the last 17 years, 17 years, put together that basically we help people reverse and heal from 2,500 symptoms plus, in essence with a very simple, natural program. I'm talking fibromyalgia, lupus, digestive diseases like Crohn's disease and irritable bowel and diverticulitis and diabetes. I mean, diabetes goes away in 3 weeks, even if you're on 6, 7, 8 shots of insulin a day.
Yeah, Kiki, like the woman we were talking to, she's actually on the line. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring her in.
Who?
Kiki, you there? Your mom. Go ahead. Go tell Will here.
Oh, she's a non-believer in a lot of things, and alternative, or what she considers to be alternative medicine is one of them. But I know that that's where the answer lies for getting her over.
She suffers from diabetes and other stuff, which diabetes can lead to more.
They just put her on Celebrex in addition to everything else that she's on.
That has to do with diet. Go ahead, Will. Go for it.
Diabetes is about 95% dietary afflicted.
Yeah, I know. I know this. It's getting her to listen to me and not the people that she thinks know what's right. You know what I mean?
Don't try to convince her. You need to have somebody other than you try to convince her. That's what I've learned. Jesus even said that in the Bible, you know. I hate to use Bible quotes all the time, but there's one really good one in there about, you know, a prophet is not recognized in his own house.
No.
You gotta go. Right. You gotta go 1,000 miles away in order for someone to listen to you.
To listen to you.
That's
why? Because people have a personal response when you say something to them, right?
You're already prejudged.
Yes. The simple fact, like, think about it this way. Did you come to any realization yourself from someone else, especially close to you, telling you the way it was supposed to be? For most of us, it was a curiosity could be sparked, but never, especially when being confronted, do you tend to acknowledge and say, yes, you're right. Most of us tend to take a defensive stance.
Yeah.
And we tend to automatically say that, no, okay. So the best way to do this, that a lot of people don't seem to realize, is that if you step back and maybe point out something that would spark a curiosity, and this takes knowing someone, knowing their interests, and again, this community effort, actually knowing your neighbor, very important. It's so important.
So have your mom give us a call.
Yeah, and give your phone number again.
Simple.
Give your phone number again, and I'll put it in the chat room as well.
Okay, our phone number here is 610-417-7248. Call and talk to Delanne. I mean, her dad is in his 80s. He was getting 5 insulin injections a day to hold his numbers down. I mean, he was in 5 and 800 numbers, uncontrollable. In 3 weeks, the doctor took him off of his insulin, and in 6 weeks, he was off all of his pain medicine. And this guy is a severely degenerated body. I mean, we're talking a 60-year alcoholic. And if these things work on a degenerated body like his that well, what's it going to do for someone in their 20s? I've got a whole drawer full in my cabinet of people that I'm working with currently on my program, from 20 years old to 85 years old, and every single person is getting a positive change in their life.
And hey, for those in the chat room, you can find her too. Delanne is in the chat room, so if anybody wants to answer a question, it's quite easy. You just got to click on her.
Well, she's actually making supper, and I'm running the computer.
Oh.
But, you know...
Well, you can message her. She's got an account here on BTR, so you can easily send her a message at least. Okay.
Send her a message. Send us an email. Get on the website. Whatever you got to do. You know, really, it comes down to that. Have another voice. Talk to the people that are close to you. We talk all day long to people from all over the planet, and it really, you can't talk to those that you know. Unfortunately, that's the society we live in. And
my
we're
sister's
here
with us, and trust me, she knows. Ask her, like, and I know you did the religion thing. We have a sister who's extremely religious, so luckily I've read constantly, so she won't say anything to me, but man, she attacks my sister constantly because she doesn't necessarily believe what she does. And that's not a negative thing. We need to realize that we can learn from each other. Differences are very important. And it's better to be different instead of adhering to something that was written by another, instead of taking what works for you, okay? And that's what's important here, is to realize that we have this ability to stand up, know what's right and wrong, and that all comes, again, from our vibrational energies. So, I mean, it all ties back to the simple fact that when you come to this vibration and you actually understand things, that so much more opens up. And if you correct your health, correct it, not fix it, because there's no fixing health. Health is health. You don't fix it. You know,
right.
It's again those play on words. So if you have a malady or something that may be plaguing you, such as the Gulf Plague, which we need to get back into, you're going to be here. We're at 5 minutes, which is still a good amount of time. So don't think you have to rush here.
Yeah, well,
but you want to tell people again
down,
where you're going to be?
Well, we're still working on a couple of venues, but I'm going to be in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Biloxi, or Long Beach, and then I'm still waiting to hear back, but it's looking like Pensacola. And we're going to be having 2 and 3 hour seminars in each place. There, and I don't have the venues. It'll be on my my Facebook page, or if you contact me, it's going out to our database. If you click getting on our newsletter off the website, you'll automatically get our updates. But we're going to be talking about sharing testimonies of the hundreds and hundreds of people that we've been helping get over all these staph infections and MRSA infections and getting their I mean, we had people coming from the Gulf calling us that have been bleeding out of every single orifice of their body, all at the same time, reversed in 10 days and starting to heal. I mean, from wheelchairs, no longer needing wheelchairs. All these things, we're going to be sharing what we're doing and how simple it really is.
How simple it really is. Isn't that amazing? It really, truly is simple, and all it takes is knowledge and realizing where we are and realizing where we can go and where we have
to
been.
supplement some things. You have to supplement some things, though.
Well, because we don't have the availability of a lot of the nutrition that we would need to at least form a body that would be able to stand up. And seriously, something simple like high fructose corn syrup, seriously, starting something little like that definitely makes a difference, not only in your life, but the lives of those that you affect. Because once you see how it truly does affect you, mercury does, it kills brain cells. We don't seem to realize, more so than anything else, it literally stops the neurons from interacting. And then you add...
It also...
Go ahead.
All these heavy metals get into our body, and they also plug up these receptors on the outside of our cells. So we short circuit, so we're unable to think, we're unable to process it. Shuts
because
off
the
our
chemicals don't actually interact with the cells and therefore cannot repair. That's why you see all these people that are twisted and old well before their time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's from they're toxic. Not only physically, but they're also emotionally toxic. Most people mentally, emotionally, physically. Where mind, body, spirit.
How it's all connected. The Trinity again, right? Physical.
The Trinity.
It ties in. There's always threes. Numbers come up. There's so many things that are so connected we don't seem to realize. But seriously, our abilities in our body definitely are affected by the abilities of our mind. And the abilities of our minds are affected by our physical body. And if you don't deal with something subconsciously or consciously, it will definitely manifest in a physical form. Hence a lot of maladies and sickness that a lot of people go through. Luckily, Wil Spencer here, which you can find him at bodyelectrician.com, which I'll put in the chat room one more time. I'm having to type it in. I'm getting good at this because I didn't copy and paste like the others. But... you can find him at bodyelectrician.com, and the number I posted earlier, which, sorry, I didn't, write it on a sticky note, and the chat room's been going so fast, I don't see it anymore.
Oh, well, it's simply just 610-417-7248.
See, okay, there it is, and then I'm going to put in HTTP. Yeah, keep going. So we got about 90 seconds coming up, so you want to give people a last little comment? I mean, it's all you, Will. I love you, boy, so go for it.
Well, vibrant health is not that difficult if you allow your mind the time or the space to consider that it is simple. We've been programmed to make everything difficult. We just have to get rid of that virus in our mind and realize that things are simple and things are not complicated. They've only appear that way. And fear. You step away from the fear, and then you can see so much more. And that's easily said, but it's not very easy to do. Good. I hope that's recorded because I can't remember what I just said.
No, it is recorded, and trust me, I think I'm going to have to use that. I'll send it to you as well. I'm going to take that soundbite because that was absolutely beautiful. I don't think anybody could have stated it better. So, wow.
And remember what we started off in the beginning. You know, we can make a difference in this country. There is a vehicle. You can get a hold of your own free state through the Republic, whatever that Republic of the United States.org. Get a hold of your local people and make a difference because we can yet.
We have the ability, and you're definitely one that could tell people that. Wow, we're down to like 30 seconds. So, man,
well, we're doing
much
it in
respect.
Pennsylvania.
Hey, and if anybody's around, 10 seconds, are going to be here, hey, check us out. Freedomizerradio.com. You can also, Nickie Nix, Rise Above Dehumanization. Love you. Everybody, thank you so much, Will. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Hey, hang
Love
in there.
Love you too, Nickie.
Yeah, hang in there, okay? Just hold on, okay?
Okay.